Welcome everyone, welcome to another episode of Call-In Khan. Saturday night means call-in shows, and we have the best call-in show around. So you're all locked in to the right place. Or Saturday evening in UK. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the case may be. Let us know where you're watching in from, listening in from, and calling in from eventually as well. People, welcome. Smash up that like button as you come in, and then we can start going. We have so much to get through. Wow, some of the maddest action, fireworks are popping off. As you know, it's what is it? Bonfire night, fifth. Remember the 5th of November.
Yeah, it might be Guy Fawkes. I have no idea.
Oh, Guy Fawkes, man.
It might be. I have, honestly have no idea. Someone in the chat.
You need to know this, man. You're young, man. You should know these things, man.
Was it
Why are you relying on me
recently?
To know this?
And listen, I've been in Spain, man. They're celebrating different things there, man. So I've just got back to the UK. I'm getting into the process of understanding this country again. But honestly, there's been fireworks for the last few weeks for me. So I'm not sure what's what anymore.
Boy, there was some fireworks in the Premier League today. I mean, yeah, it's Guy Fawkes, man. Oh, is it Bonfire or Guy Fawkes? Is it the same thing?
Same thing. Guy Fawkes tried to blow up Parliament, something like that.
Okay. History lessons are going in as well. We're gonna get into that, man. The referee was shocking today against City. No crying about the pen. We're gonna get into it.
Little diver
from Croydon Boozer. Pass me theory test halfway there. Well done, son. Well done. Brilliant stuff. Salam, Khanji. Salam to you as well, bro. Smash up the likes as you enter. Subscribe if you haven't. All of that good business. Don't forget, people. Very, very soon, this is going to be a members only call-in show. So get membering up, man. Smash up those membership buttons. Hella perks coming up. Hella perks. You're going to be able to join us on all the interactive shows. You're going to have your own emojis. Every message has to be read out as a priority. And you're going to get access to member-only streams coming up, especially in January, the transfer window around the corner. You know what I'm talking about. Zuberi, hopefully you're good to go now. Otherwise, I'm going to kick you off permanently. Talk to me. Hope you're good. Zuberi, are you there, man?
How am I sounding?
Yeah, you sound nice. You sound nice now. You look nice. You sound nice. Everything is crisp right now. I was just asking you before. No. We don't need to be worried, man. It's not that deep, man. It's good. Yeah. People like hearing your opinions. I had to get you on a call-in show. People like listening to you, talking to you. I mean, you got the outlandish takes apparently. So I'm here to smash up your outlandish takes, and you're here to keep promoting those outlandish takes. So we're gonna be good. Right. Bilal, man, when did you get back? How was your holiday?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. I came back. When did I come back? Pretty much before the Eurostars show that we did the other day, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it was something like that. Yeah. Obviously, the news this week coming out with Gerard Piqué that he's, announced his retirement. Maybe if I delayed my little flight to Barcelona for this week, I could have witnessed that. But yeah, no, it was a good trip. And watching Barcelona get battered, in some ways I felt sorry for them because Bayern Munich are just this bully machine of a team, honestly. And I know we talk about them on Eurostars. No, listen, Bayern, there's something about them, man. When it gets to the big games, when it gets to punishing teams as well, it's that German mentality, man. They will just go for the kill. And they just kept on twisting the knife in. And they weren't even playing at like 20% that day. But listen, they got the job done. And today, Man City again got the job done. And I was deflated after that. I don't know how you Liverpool fans that have done it for all these years, man. Honestly, what is the point of me watching Man City and hoping they lose? They have 10 men, they're handicapped, everything's going well. And then last minute, man, I had a bad feeling, man, when it was building up, man, that something's going to happen.
Zuberi, when the game was going on, I was thinking Bilal's finally got a taste of, or Arsenal fans are finally going to get a taste of what it feels like to chase or try to hope that this juggernaut falls apart. That is Man City, right? Because we're used to that.
Bilal, let me tell you something, though. If you're not careful, you would stop watching football. It's that of a fine line. I'm telling you, you'll be good. You win, and then they win, and you're like, all right, we'll go again next week. 15 games in of that same, you're like, yo, I'm done with these, man. And then you're gonna start seeing what we've been seeing and saying, and then you're like, wait, so every team just fold when they score one goal, bro? Teams don't try against them, bro, and it's so deflating. And they'll run up on your team, you know. Some dead team will run up on your team and go 1-0 down and still fight. They go 1-0 down against City and they just fold, and you're like, this ain't fair. No,
today was, but you know what? Today was, guys. I don't know what you guys think, and hopefully we might get some City people that want to chat, or we don't know what we're gonna get. It's a box of tricks. By the way, people in the studio, bear with us. We're just trying to set the show up, and then we're gonna get as many callers as we can inside. So respect to all you guys waiting there patiently. People are also trying to know how to become members. Bilal, can you put up the link in? Can you somehow put the link up in the chat if you can?
Yeah, it should be in the description, guys. To click on the link. Click on the description, and then it should just direct you to become a member there. So it's a pretty simple process, guys. So yeah, just go in the description and click on the link. But for now, hit the like button and keep these views going. But yeah,
100%.
When you can, so yeah, become a channel member.
Do you know what I was going to say? Today was extra wild because Fulham, right? Before the get, like, we know it's a foregone conclusion. Fulham been handy, but you know it's going to be a wrap eventually, right? Everyone predicting 3-0, 2-0. But you see when they get the penalty and the man gets sent off. We'll come and talk about the discussion about if it was a penalty, if it was a red card, and then the Haaland penalty. But why did you guys, both of you, see the game? Why did Fulham play like still on the counter-attack with a man down? Like had no strategy to even counter them. It was so frustrating. And did you see the way they were pulling off counter after counter against Liverpool in the opening games, Barry? I get it was home and it was away. But Fulham were in that game, for large periods in terms of like they could have broken that press and created chances. But I don't know why they didn't do it. I don't know if you thought the same.
I believe.
Yeah, well, go on, Zib, yeah.
Capability against it. Let's see how good we can do defense. We know something's going to happen, but let's just test this defensive tactic we've been working on. And I think that's just what teams try. And sometimes they come off a 9-0, sometimes they come off, a tight game. And I think teams walk away from like a 2-1 loss and they're like, you know what? That defensive tactic ain't really that bad, because if we can hold them to just 2, we might have to expand on this tactic. That's how I think teams play City, and I don't think they really go in there like tooth and nail and fight. So that's just how I view it. It could just be them battering us for like 5 years and just being relentless. This is where I'm at now. Bilal, you get there eventually, but like I said, the fine line between giving up on football and just accepting that City is a different animal, man.
I have to say, look, people are saying you got to give them credit. Absolutely, man. 10 men down for 70 minutes, Bilal. You're thinking, come on. At the very least, they can get a draw here. They can hold on here. But the way Man City creates space, even with a man down, say they've been training 10 against 11 or even 9 against 11. No, man, it's
they're
ridiculous.
A joke. They're a joke. Honestly, I think after they went, obviously Cancelo went off second half. Pep in some 3-4, not 3 like it's a 3-4-2, but De Bruyne, all of these players were just floating in and out. Every time De Bruyne started on the right, then Gundogan was on the left. De Bruyne comes all the way in, then you see Bernardo, who was with Rodri, he's all of a sudden the right winger. So these guys are just tactically, they're too smart. Their IQ is too much. Pep's taught them too good, and already they're unbelievable footballers. They're most elite footballers. Oil money can buy you. So already, listen, it's difficult. Even with 10 men, a team like Fulham is going to struggle. You look at Fulham's lineup, like Willian, it's Pereira, Vinicius, Harry Wilson tried, but he's not really got the quality. These players, they can't handle it. Even if it was 9 men, they would struggle, playing against. And Dan James coming on at the end for Fulham, like come on, man.
What's he gonna do?
And Leno, you got blood on your hands because that penalty, please.
Wait, hold on. Why are you going to the penalty first? How about that first shot? Tell me tell me, like, why did he go so down so early? It was literally in the center of the goal. If he stood there and just went like that, it would have hit his hands and gone over. Welcome that was in him. Is that why you guys sold him? Yeah. Now I know.
Welcome to Leno. Leno sometimes was a very good shot stopper. Sometimes he'll pull off the big saves, but he is a little bit unreliable. And then obviously for a team that wants to play out the back and all sorts, you know, with the Allisons, the Edisons, etc., Leno can't really do that anyway. But even his strength as well, Leno was always, for me, one of the biggest liabilities from corner kicks, from set pieces. So Arsenal's record from set pieces have improved so much since Ramsdale's come into the team. But when Leno was there, it was easy to get bullied, man. So he's quite a weak goalkeeper. He's kind of similar. He reminds me of like Kepa. You know, like Kepa at Chelsea. It's kind of similar in that way. But Leno, yeah, he's had maybe better few years at Arsenal than maybe Kepa's had at Chelsea in terms of just performances. But yeah, for me, Leno's just one thing.
Ter Stegen.
Even Ter Stegen's another guy. Like, I don't understand German goalkeeper. You guys are meant to be serious. Like, Ter Stegen and Leno are the most unserious, uncharacteristic German goalkeepers I've ever seen. You know, you look at the Manuel Neuers, man, and that's a proper German goalkeeper. But the Ter Stegens and Lenos, I don't understand how these guys have been bred, you know, to become goalkeepers. But yeah, apart from that, Fulham's performance second half was shocking as well. Like 11, you got one man more on the pitch. You should have the advantage numerically. You should always be able to have an extra pass on.
Have confidence, man. Like play your game. You're not going to get relegated. You're not really realistically going to get into Europe. You're one of those clubs that have started off well. Show us something. Show us something that you've got some great players. Like your coach knows what he's doing. Don't do this. Just retreat. Because they were like, I don't know, man. But maybe City were good. Because I don't know, Zuberi. I don't know if you saw the Kevin De Bruyne. Because I'm just gonna call him the Kevin De Bruyne. He's unreal right now, man. I don't know what you think about him, but I think so highly of him.
I don't know if you guys hear me better now, but KDB is
machine.
He's a weird one, you know, because if you follow his career, he was like didn't quite cut it at Chelsea. Was there something wrong with Chelsea, or wasn't that his moment or his atmosphere? And the same can be said about Salah. These guys, man, they go through some periods in their career. Like, how do we stop this guy? This guy is, if you're saying he's the best midfielder in the world, it's debatable, but you would actually have a valid point. The guy is supreme. I see him put a ball on Haaland's head against us over Joey head. Bro, people calling Joey dead for that moment. Bro, that pass took him out the game, you know.
You can't do nothing.
Bro, he makes football look easy. And when he said, oh, yeah, I can do the step overs and da-da-da-da, but I don't need that. I'm like, bro, you need to calm down. You need to calm down.
Yeah, he's a serious keeper, serious baller, man. That pass he's talking about well, did you see today's one where it was disallowed?
The offside
it's just
one,
like, oh, it's just track training ground, and Liverpool just chip it up in there. He knows exactly the weight, the velocity, the pressure, everything needed on every pass. It's mad.
He's always got that crazy whip in him. And, you know, they've not really had a striker to really get on the end of that. The Jesus, the Sterlings, it's a difficult ball to get a lot of the time. But Erling Haaland, he's a guy made for those kind of passes. You give him those kind of passes with the pace, with the power, with the whip, everything with it. Erling Haaland can stretch. The guy's an absolute monster and can get them 9 times out of 10. So that combination there is scary because any minute it can break any defense in world football. Them two alone can change a game for Man City in any game. And maybe that could be the difference this year for the Champions League. You never know. They've got a striker. The likes of Real Madrid, we talk about Benzema all the time. He might not be the same. He's getting injuries towards the end of the season. Who knows what could happen? But Haaland and KDB, man, scary hours for all of us.
It is indeed, man, because up until then, you know, it looked like obviously Man City had started bossing the game, loads of control. But it felt like Fulham may be able to, because he didn't have many saves to make. And that's what they do to you, don't they, City? They lull you into like, everything's cool. We've got them at arm's reach. Their arm's reaching. I mean, they're not really penetrating, but bang, 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 bang. When they speed it up and they knock you out, and you're seeing stars. You know, one of them ones.
I think what they do well, not sure if this is their tactics, but they have a pretty good way of controlling the ball. It's almost like what's that? It's like Wing Chun. You know, you're on the offense, but you're also on the defense. It's like, yeah, we're gonna move them this way, and it's just like Muay Thai in a set. Bro, it's beautiful, man. The way they do it, it's boring at times, but they almost control it. How
your Wi-Fi is bugging, innit? Your Wi-Fi is bugging, man.
defensive.
Bilal, is it bugging for you as well?
Yeah, the Wi-Fi is not great
in and out
right
of
now.
shape, bro. They play with you,
Come
they
back.
toy with you now. My connection is shaky.
Yeah, the
Badly,
Wi-Fi is
madly
it's
shaky,
not good.
man. Good, man. Leave the stream,
Man,
come
yeah.
back again.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. This City talk is boring from Grizz. Back layer. You don't even need to come back, bro. You don't even need to come back. You know what I mean? This is the call-in show. This is what we're gonna go through, all the football of the day, talking points, controversy. I ain't here to just talk about what you want to talk about, bro. So you don't even need to come back. Keep it moving. Bye. Get out of here. You know what I mean? I understand people, man. Like, what a game to talk about. Last minute winner and man's bored already, you know. And the rest of the games, Bilal, I don't even know what you're saying, man. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Everyone thought the dead games today. Everyone thought, yeah, the big games are tomorrow, right? Like,
It's hilarious. One of my friends messaged me in the morning saying, dead fixtures today, dead day. Then towards the end of the day, he's like, I'm sorry, I take that back. So I just think just sums up the day today. Nottingham Forest 2, Brentford 2, Wolves 2, Brighton 3. Yeah, Man City 2, Fulham 1, as we said. Leeds 4, Bournemouth 3. That is a big win for Leeds.
What a game. What a game, man. And then Leicester, again, turn up for the books. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Everyone thought Lampard's doing a good job. Everton are looking a little bit more solid again. Leicester look dead. They ain't coming back from this. And then football's a humbler, isn't it? As I say, bro.
It's mad. We were talking about the Iwobi, Ghana, Onana trio in midfield. We're like, this is the one. Lampard's doing bits. And then, but the thing with Leicester, man, they've had the quality. It's not like they haven't had the quality. It's always been that defense that was the real problem for Leicester at the beginning of the season. So if they could sort that out, of course, Leicester, a team over the last few years, have been pushing for top 4. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility that they could recover their season. Actually, let's have a look at the table quickly here, and you can see, like, obviously, Man City have gone top today.
This table's a mess at the moment, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I think from 10th down or even 9th down, I'm sorry, Liverpool fans, you're involved. But yeah, if you look down here, and obviously Liverpool not going to get relegated or anything, but from like Brentford, let's be honest, like
anything can happen.
It looks like the championship table. I remember looking at it recently, and it's tight. It's tight over here, man.
If you go back up to the top again, back up to the top a little bit, right, and we can see, right, that literally they were 30 seconds away from dropping points to their Man City, right? So that would have been a draw and a draw and a defeat in their last 2. It's a wild season. This is the kind of shit that happens. Now your green ticks look nice, right? You're in second place. You're 1 point behind. Game tomorrow, away to Chelsea. If you put a win there tomorrow, I know you ain't one of them ones that's getting carried away. But if you go in there and coast tomorrow and really control the game from the off, what are you saying?
You know, I'm being so real, yeah. The problem is, this is not a normal team. Liverpool fans, this is not a normal team we're playing against. If this was a normal Premier League where it's like, all right, 85 points plus could win you the league, I'd be very confident. Be like, why not? Arsenal can get over 85 points. But at this point, do you need over 100 points to win the league? I don't know. Someone do the maths. Because Man City are an absolute joke. And today's result felt like, I think for Arsenal fans, felt like a defeat watching them, score. I think Arsenal fans were more pained watching that than Fulham fans, if I'm keeping it real. Yeah. But today, if Man City had dropped points, would they have been on 30 points, I believe?
31 they would have been on. Oh, no.
30 points.
Yeah,
I think it would be 1 point behind Arsenal.
Yeah.
Arsenal could have got a win, 3 points there. That's 4 point gap again. That would have been nice, that little cushion. But now, Man City put the pressure back on. But you see Pep at the end of the game today, the celebrations, I've not seen Pep do that for a while.
I tell you why. He's not feeling it, Bilal. He's not feeling it. See, this is where we think we fell for this trap, innit, Zubs? Yeah? We fall for this trap that we think, he's feeling it. He's not. He knows the relevance and the importance of days like today. Am I right, Zuberi?
Yeah, connection. I figured, turns out I'm like the farthest point from the router, so it might be a little choppy on today still.
Okay. So far is good.
Yeah, hopefully not. But with the Pep thing, man, I rate it as a fan. Just a football fan in general. But it's disgusting at times, man. He needs to stop, bro. He'll destroy you mentally, Bilal. I'm telling you, just hang in there and keep the pressure on them, man. They don't really slip often, but you never know. You never know.
Yeah, you never know, man. You never know. It is a long season. It's a wild season. That's what I keep saying. But like today's don't happen. That's what I'm saying. You're so close to like every drop point. Even a draw is like a defeat for them. This is the way we used to look at it, right, Zeus? We used to think, yeah, even if they get a draw, you know what? That's a loss in our books. But right now, we need to focus on ourselves. Have you noticed? I haven't mentioned Liverpool too many times, but if people want to come in and talk about Liverpool, I mean, I recognize a few faces in the studio. I don't recognize a few, which is good. I always like to have you guys. Don't forget. Possibly from next week, it will be members only to call in. So smash up that membership button. It's in the description. Hella content coming, and many perks for members. It's not going to be just one of those, you're just a member and it looks good. No, you're going to get your comments read, interaction, follow from all of us on our socials. We've got interactive shows lined up throughout World Cup and January. I'm gonna do watch along for World Cups with members only allowed to come in and let's chat about the World Cup. So yeah, man, we're looking to take it real deep. And drop a like. It only takes a second, people. Drop a like. It only takes a second. Are we ready to take a first caller in? What are you saying? Are we good to go?
Yeah, let's get the people in, man. Let's see what they
built up the show nicely.
Yeah, man. Let's see. We got Adrian. Your light's a bit off key, but let's see. Hopefully you sound okay as well, bro. Welcome to the stream, Adrian. You okay?
Yeah, you hear me?
We can hear you, man. It's all good.
Yeah, bro. Sorry about the lighting, bro. It's just the Wi-Fi is better here. I saw the connection for some callers weren't the greatest, so I'm just trying to make sure.
No problem, brother. No problem. The main thing is the connection and the sound. You're good, bro.
Yeah, bro.
What do you want to talk about? Welcome.
So there was a point that you guys talked about, and it's going to link to my overarching discussion I wanted to bring up. It was the Salah De Bruyne thing, right? Because I am a Chelsea fan, so I remembered when they were here at Stamford Bridge, right? And it's two interesting situations of Chelsea's previous philosophy under the previous ownership, and what I think the philosophy is the new owners are trying to bring in, right? And I think they were brought in 2013, 2014, I believe. I can't remember. Someone has to double check. Because I remember the season they were here is the season we won the league. I remember was because it was Wenger's 1,000th game, right? Because it was under Mourinho. And I remember what we played was Wenger's 1,000th game, and I think Salah scored like the 6th goal or something like that. And yeah, it was just. I think the thing that season was like when you have a manager like Mourinho, and when you were in an environment and culture at Chelsea, it was all about just winning now. Next season, you have to get a trophy. Next season, you have to get a trophy. You're seeing it even now with fans, right? I remember I think Culture Cams does like a little podcast, right? I can't remember what it was on. Big up to them, man. But I remember there's a Chelsea fan on there. He was like, we have to win a trophy. We have to win a trophy. Like, it's just built into us, like every single season, just to win a trophy. Because that's what we've been doing every single year. We will be dead in the Premier League. Then all of a sudden, we'll win a trophy, right? Sack a manager, bring someone new in, and we'll win a trophy. So I think that's one of the reasons why you see sometimes like some players leave and then you see them prosper just because we're looking for winning now. Like it's kind of, I don't know how much you guys know about the NBA, but the LA Lakers are quite similar to this as well. They brought in, one of the best players in the world at the time, and they traded all the young players for one of the best players in the world as well. And they won a Premier League, as per se, the NBA version alternative. But then they let all these young players go, and now they're prospering, and they're competing at the very highest level. And the LA Lakers haven't been able to compete since, and it's kind of similar at Chelsea. So I'm kind of hoping that we go into this sort of long-term direction. Is
that a good comparison, Zuberi? You should know about NBA out in the USA, man. It's your national sport, right? What do you know about NBA? You're on mute.
My national sport is football, man, but they call it soccer.
No, you ain't national sport, man.
Yeah.
But what do you know about NBA? Is that a good comparison? Because we don't know. Like, I don't know what.
I can see why for a comparison.
So yeah, the name for the people in the chat is Anthony Davis. The Anthony Davis trade is the one I'm talking about. Where essentially the Lakers, as the team, the way in which the NBA works, you draft a lot of players. They have a draft system over there. And they had a lot of young players, and they basically traded all of them for Anthony Davis, who was one of the best players at the time. And they already had one of the best players there, and then they just went all in for the Premier League or the Championship. that year and they won it, right? And that's kind of similar at Chelsea. You know, you had Mata, Hazard, all those guys. And so some of these younger players didn't really have time or what demanded game time. I think I remember De Bruyne demanded game time. I don't know with Salah. I think it was a different situation. I think there was just no chance of him at that time, especially with the way Hazard was. But I think he won Player of the Year that year as well. There was just no way he was going to get any game time. And I think Salah's one of those players where you had to build around him. You have to put him in the correct ecosystem to get the most out of him. Whereas Hazard's just one of those players, no matter what. So long as he's fit, he can thrive in any system. He's just a pure footballer. But
I hear that, but I don't agree with that.
Here's my thing: it depends on your entire football philosophy, and I think
it depends on your subjectivity about what you perceive as a footballer. So, because you've just said Hazard can thrive everywhere, whereas Salah has thrived at Roma, at what's the other team?
Fiorentina.
Italian team, Fiorentina, and at Liverpool, and at Basel. The only club he hasn't thrived at is Chelsea. Whereas Hazard, to my knowledge, Lille, he was an up-and-coming youngster. He thrived at Chelsea and hasn't thrived elsewhere. So what evidence are you using to say it's only your perception of what you perceive as a footballer?
Okay. I think here's my thing, right? This is going to go a bit off topic now, but I think this is a good...
Let's stay on topic.
Yeah, okay.
I like Chelsea fans that talk about Hazard like this. No, it's nothing personal. It's good debate.
No, I like this topic.
I just hit you with some facts. I want you to hit me with some facts back.
Okay, so define what we need to do then if we're doing this conversation is I would need to know what you define, what you like. No, not just footballer. Define success, because if a 17, 18-year-old is scoring like you also, if your success is GA or output or tangible things you can see, if that's your idea of a footballer. Because that's what I hear. I'm just going off conversations I've heard.
No, what's your idea? Because you made the claim. What's your idea?
For me, it's a combination of every single different factor you can use. So just general fundamentals of a football player, you know, first touch, all of the stuff you've probably heard before, and the tangibles. How are you impacting the game? How are you scoring, assisting, all of these things. And of course, availability, right? And my point, I don't know if you heard it, my caveat is, when Hazard was available, he won the Player of the Year that year. I said that Salah was just not going to get a chance in that team, because when you have a player like Hazard at that specific time as well, especially, there's no way he was going to outdo. Salah was never going to outdo Hazard in that team. And I think he just needed that time to just change his mentality, change his fitness. Because I think it was in Roma. Sorry, not Roma, Fiorentina, I believe, where he really worked on his fitness, worked on his body. Try to improve his strength, and you see it in the Premier League now. He's one of the strongest players in the Premier League, I believe. It helps him so much in his game because Liverpool don't really play with a conventional striker, but because of the players they have, they can hold up the ball so well. And Salah's just one of the players. I think that goal against Man City. I don't know if you guys remember it, the one where he dribbles past a couple of players.
I remember it very well.
That was a crazy goal, right? But the thing about Salah is he's so strong, and it's weird because people will sound like I'm a hater. I'm actually a big fan of Salah, right?
No, it's fine, man. You can listen. It's fine. You can not rate a player. You don't have to like a player. You don't have to like. It's all about comes down to stylistically. And you were speaking a lot. Let the panel have their say.
Let me ask you a question, Adrian, because you came in and you basically continued the point that I made. I made the comment on Chelsea and the.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm the type of guy when I go into like a fast food place, I don't ask for the owner of the franchise. I don't ask for that guy. I'm like, let me see the manager. And you just brought up a good point. This guy Salah strived everywhere else but Chelsea. I'm not going to say it is Chelsea. Sorry. Mourinho got it wrong in that moment.
This is the question though. What is thrived? What do you define? What is the definition of thrived?
All right, let me put thrive as a footballer. If you're playing week in and week out, you're basically thriving because you're basically doing something right to be getting picked. I mean, he wasn't really favorite to get picked at Chelsea, and we can't just say, "Oh, it's because Hazard was there." I'm not saying he was performing out of his skin over there, but who's picking the team? It was the manager. So my question,
that's true. Okay, if your opinion is availability,
if
your opinion is what makes a footballer is availability. I think it's one of the factors, but if that's your biggest factor, I can understand that argument, right? And I think what Mourinho, the way it's just the mentality and philosophy at Chelsea at the time, and it's still been like that you have to win every game, you have to win every trophy, everything's there available, right? So if you have a player like Eden Hazard at that time, who was arguably the best player in the Premier League at that time, and a young player who has shown some technical limited ability at that time, I think he's improved his game, of course, since then. You're going to see a situation where he's going to be on the limited time, because even players like Oscar, people forget how good Oscar was at Chelsea. Juan Mata, all of these players, right? At that time, especially for a manager like Mourinho, who's just looking at what you can do for him right now, he was not going to get into that team. He was not going to think about how can I develop this guy. And I think that's a mentality shift you're going to see at Chelsea, hopefully for the next couple of years. And I think I kind of welcome that change. So if you're asking me if we got it wrong with Salah, I'm kind of 50-50, because I don't necessarily know if he, in that environment, in that sort of mentality of winning now everything, if he would have had time to develop. Whereas I look at a player like De Bruyne, and I feel like he was the one where I was like, yeah, he was already showing flashes as well at Chelsea. I remember there was this one game where he was crazy. His debut was actually crazy for Chelsea. It was like everyone at the game could see there was a player in De Bruyne.
So there's a few players that you've let go, and I'm not going to bore you with them. I'm going to let you tell me the players that have gone on to absolutely smash it. So, and if you're saying that, it seems to me like you're just saying Salah's the only one that you.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying.
What are you saying?
With the philosophy at the club being so focused on winning now.
What are you saying? You know that meme? What are you saying? What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
Because I said De Bruyne as well, right? So I'm not just saying.
How about the others? How many others? Name some, Bilal. Help me out. I'll come on.
Lukaku, Hazard.
I'm telling, bro, this is because of the win now mentality and favouring all the players.
Yeah, I see.
And also for the fact that the managers at the time, Mourinho's, Conte's, they're looking at what can you give me now, and are you better than the player in front of you, right?
So can I just correct you? Salah wasn't the one that was vying for Hazard. Salah played on the right wing. Hazard played on the left wing.
Here's the thing.
So it was just a personal preference of a coach.
Here's the thing. At the time, the way in which Chelsea played, Hazard would he basically played wherever he wanted, really. It was mad. Like, he just played where, I don't know if you guys ever saw the Sarri season, because this happened in Conte and Sarri and Mourinho, where he literally just played everywhere. He'd start at one position, then play the other. Some games he'd play on the right. Majority of the games he'd start on the left, but he was so good that he could play in literally every position up front. It was ridiculous. Apart from striker, of course, but it was ridiculous. I know it's a sensitive topic.
No, it's not. It's wicked. It's a brilliant topic. It's a brilliant topic. I love the way you brought that up. It's all about chat and debate and opinions. I'm going to reel off some names.
Can I just continue the point? Because I know you.
No, you can't.
Sorry.
I'm gonna say a few names. I'm gonna hit you with some points, because you started a point and then you started going round and round it. So I'm gonna hit you with some other points and tell me where these guys are right now and what did you think of them?
Yeah.
As Chelsea, like Chelsea's. What's the word? Graveyard for strikers. Yeah. So we can name quite, and players as well. So you've seen. So we've mentioned Lukaku. The most high profile are Lukaku, Lukaku, Salah, Kevin De Bruyne. Fair to say 3 guys that have excelled at majority of the other clubs. Lukaku, maybe we can have a debate about it. Tomori, would you say he's excelled at Crystal Palace?
You mean?
Sorry. AC Milan, Tomori.
You're talking about Mark Guehi, I believe, right?
Yeah, Mark Guehi at Crystal Palace.
How many players are let go?
AC Milan. Daniel Sturridge, what's your thoughts on Daniel Sturridge?
Solid player. I liked him.
Why did you like Sturridge and not Salah?
Because I felt like especially this is my overarching point. I think you need to make sure you understand this point, because I think you're circling around this point.
We're going to focus right now.
My point is, Chelsea, for the last 20 years, is about win now and what you can give me now. So all these players, you're going to be like, oh, look, all these players, man, they needed time to develop, and they can't be in such certain systems where there's so much pressure, in which every single game and every single big game is meaningful, right?
Just stop you right there. So that means you're suggesting all the players that I'm going to reel off couldn't handle the pressure. That's what you're saying.
At that time, and under that manager. So
Right.
maybe if it was a situation, the
I don't
philosophy
agree
was
with that.
different.
I think it's the way Chelsea are
Of course
set
it
up,
is. It's
especially
so
with the
obvious.
managers. The way Chelsea are set up with the managers,
Wait,
such as the
wait,
Mourinho's,
one
the
last thing, and
Contes.
I'm going to go on mute. One last thing, and I'm going to go on mute, and then
Yeah,
you
sure.
carry
Go,
on.
go.
One last thing, and I'm going to go on mute. What you're saying about players is also relevant to coaches and your club. So are you saying the coaches couldn't handle the pressure as well? I could reel off some great coaches that have carried on doing well and not well. It's just the way your club is formulated. I beg your pardon. The way your club was given that impetus by a certain Roman Abramovich who could buy what he wants, when he wants, and demand what he wants. It was nothing to do, in my humble opinion, about players' capability, players' mentality, coaches' ability, coaches' mentality. It was just, for me, the spoiled kid who can have the money to do what he wants, who he wants, when he wants, how he wants. I'm going to go on mute, let you carry on. This is a brilliant debate, by the way. Brilliant debate.
Before you continue, I think the underpinning idea at Chelsea is about performances per game. Not even in the season, not even getting a run of form. So Grizz, they'll bring a player in, and if he has a 5 out of 10 that game, he's on bench, you know. Like, to keep getting in the team, you have to be like Hazard. You have to be effective every game. And I think Willian, I'm not sure if he was there when Salah was there, but that's why he was getting picked. Because in that moment, he worked really well when Hazard was floating all over the place. It's just about being effective. Mason Mount, nail on in that team because he's effective. But the minute Mount have 2 games where he's like 6 out of 10, he'll be on the bench. So and that's why I say thrive, because as a footballer, you're actually thriving. You might not be putting up the stats, but you're hitting 8 out of 10 performances, and then you get picked again in the next game and the next game. But the minute they hit a 6, Grizz, it's bench. It's bench. You can have 9 goals in 10 games, but the 10th game you didn't do anything, bench. Like, the output over there is crazy, and I think that's what you're trying to say, right, Adrian?
Essentially, I think what Grizz, I understand what Grizz is saying as well. And which is why I made the point on the philosophy change and the culture change that's happening at Chelsea now. I actually welcome, even if we see a downturn in results in the short term, just because I feel like that model in which we are trying to, because I think I came on beforehand, I believe I've had this conversation with you, Cruz, when I said the model, I welcomed the new ownership change, even though people are very critical of this new ownership. I said I'm actually I gave them like an 8 out of 10 of how they've run the club so far, just because I felt like the way in which they're trying to facilitate the club and the model in which they're trying to bring to the club is a much more sustainable model to run the club in than Roman Abramovich did, especially in those last 5 years. We haven't been a successful club in the last 5 years, and I welcome that change. This Hazard Salah thing, I know it's a bit off topic, and I said there are a lot of players who haven't been able to succeed at Chelsea and succeed elsewhere. I'm not denying that. My point is that when you look at individual situations are different to others, and what you define as success, to your point about Hazard and Salah, for example, will therefore be very different to some other players. So
no, we're gonna keep it moving because we've got so many 100%. People waiting to ask. But this has been brilliant and riveting chat. The only point that my back got up was and where I butt in rudely. Sorry, first and foremost, if I came across rude. But,
no, bro, sorry, it's your show, man.
But the point being is, when you said like Salah and Hazard, no problem. People can. I love Hazard. Check this out. Stylistically, I think I'm more accustomed, or I'm more attracted towards a Salah Hazard style of footballer, if you ask me, stylistically. So that's each individual's perception of what they want to see in a footballer. It's the old Messi and Ronaldo debate, right? Mm-hmm. Ronaldo's more efficiency, self-made type thing, whereas Messi's natural. You can tell he don't go gym. Do you get what I'm saying? It's different. The only thing was, I just wanted to pick you up on where you said, thrived. He couldn't thrive. And Hazard can thrive in any establishment, in any setup. I disagree with that completely. No, I disagree with that completely. Okay. It's not about healthy. And also health is absolutely one of the fitness and sort of the way you look after yourself is absolutely one of the highest, biggest criteria that you should look for in an eliteness. Like you can have the talent sure. you can have talent of a R9 Ronaldo, but if your fitness ain't there, what's the point? If you're just a beach footballer, you can.
I think that's unfortunate with Hazard. Was that PSG game? I think with Real Madrid. I can't remember what the name of that player was for PSG, but I think he broke his his shin bone or something, and then just never recovered mentally and physically since that. But
I think the point that you made at the end, I can relate to far more. What Zuberi
Yeah.
said, it's a culture thing at your club. It's a culture and stature thing. It's a mentality of the owner. You're right. It may be trying to change it now, and it may be less success, but possibly in terms of stability and long-term wise, it may not suit you, but it may do you better. But only time will tell what your new owners, because so far he's continuing the madness of Roman Abramovich so far.
The problem is, like, he couldn't really do anything in the summer because it was a lose-lose situation. The club had been sanctioned, so we couldn't really talk to anyone. We could do informal talks, but we can't really get ahead of other clubs because we were focusing on the entire sanction situation. So we kind of went into the transfer window behind everybody else. So I could while I disagreed with some of the decisions, I could understand where they were coming from. It didn't help with the fact that we had a situation similar to Liverpool where we didn't really address the biggest problem of the team. And the manager thought we were fine with the players we had. And I think and this has been reported as well, you've got to be very careful with these reports because with new ownership at Chelsea, no one really knows, because Matt Laws even said this there's a very good podcast by Let's Keep It, what's it called? The London Blues podcast. It's very good. And essentially said no one really knows who to get information from for Chelsea right now. It's been a big thing where Chelsea...
And that's the way it should be. And that's the way it should be. Listen, Adrian, we're going to keep it moving. We've got a lot of people waiting to call in, man. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. Brilliant chat, man. Nice one.
Yeah, big up, man. Big up.
Take care.
Big up, Adrian.
I love chat like that, man. Riveting chat. You know, it gets the emotions going. It gets the arguments and the debates going. There's no right. There's no wrong. Do you know what I mean? You speak your mind, and the brother spoke his mind. You know what I mean? I disagreed with a lot of what he said. No problem. No problem. He has a right to speak what he wants to think. He prefers Hazard, or he thinks Hazard can thrive in most formations or most clubs. I don't want to, misquote him. I think the evidence suggests Salah has done that. But it's a different. Say again.
And I say he has, man, but I'm laughing at the caller, not bad way, but the fact that he tried to compare Chelsea to the Lakers, I was like, it's kind of a lot of ball still to do that, but we'll allow it.
Go on, give us a quick insight. What is that about? I don't know. Bilal, you know about the Lakers?
Yeah, I wouldn't put Chelsea that highly. I'm not a Chelsea fan, but if he sees
so what's the Lakers?
Lakers are like Real Madrid.
Lakers heritage. Chelsea don't have that type of heritage.
But I think what he meant. I can't bring him back now. But I think what he meant
in one aspect with the youngsters, what they do with their.
That's what he meant.
So in that only aspect, I'll allow them. But still, you can't just get 1 out of 10 right and then say, yeah, we're like this. There's other facets to it. You know what I mean? So.
But great opening call. This is what I'm talking about. Great opening call, man. You know what I mean? People, there's over 250 of you in here. There should be around 200 likes, really. I can imagine 50 haters, roughly speaking. Enemies, foes, haters. But the majority should be lovers, and friends and brothers and sisters as well. So smash up those likes. Bilal, man, what else happened today, man? Anything else that we need before we get the second caller in? Mad goals, man. Goals everywhere. Last minute winners, last minute. Red cards. There were 3 red cards, am I right? 3 red cards today? Yeah,
the Wolves game had a red card. I can see here Nelson Semedo. Who else got a red card? I'm not too sure. Apart from
the Man City game?
Cancelo, yeah. That's a debate. Listen, every week people say Trent this, Trent that. Cancelo, bro, the guy is a liability in defense time and time again. He can get got at. And today, people are trying to say that it wasn't a penalty. For me, that was 100% a penalty.
No.
Not
the
playing for the ball.
Question. I'm not even... Yeah. Look, let's stop the conversation about the penalty. Let's start the conversation very quickly before we get the next caller in. And I'm just going to give the next caller a couple of minutes because I can see him yamming on some soup or something. But keep doing what you're doing. No problem. You got a couple of minutes still, my brother. Keep yamming on that soup, but you're next in line. I don't want you to lose your spot. So you got a couple of minutes. Penalty, no problem. Red card, talk to me, brothers.
Red card as well, man. You can't be doing those things, man. Listen, for me, it's a penalty and a red card. He's the last man. If you go by the letter of the law, it's a penalty. He's not playing to get the ball. He's just playing to wipe the attacker out, and he's literally not trying to win the ball back. So for me, he's the last guy. He literally stops the striker from having a shot and goal. So for me, that's a red card as well. So I agreed with the decision completely. Penalty, red card. Saw Pep doing his madness on the touchline, trying to be like, oh no, it's fine. Cancelo trying to make him feel better, getting at the referees as well. For me, penalty, red card. It happened to my team as well. I saw. Remember David Luiz versus Wolves? I don't know if you guys remember this.
Yeah.
Listen, these worse. That's a much softer thing than what Cancelo did today. So for me, if that's a red card, the one with Cancelo is a red card as well. So for me, he's the last man. It's a red. It's clear as day. If you're going to give the penalty, number one, and he's the last man, you have to give the red card. You can't just give him a yellow card. That's what I think.
Zoobs, I don't know. When you're smiling like that, I don't know whether you're agreeing, disagreeing, or what you're going to come with. So unwind.
Yeah, I don't debate these things, red card or pens. They are what they are, man. It's part of the game. You can be like, you remember Brighton when Welbeck got a kick at the bottom of his foot and fall over, and no one thought it was a pen, no one contested, and VR was like, "Yep, penalty." And everybody was like, "Wait, what?" Welbeck was like, "Wait, what?" So that's why I'm laughing, because you have some of these now with VAR, and being the last man, it always what it is, man. You're the last man. You're just gonna get that, As far as those things goes, part of the game, man. It kind of the twist, if you will, in the story, because the story be laid out. You're like, oh yeah, this is nailed out. This game is what it is, and all of a sudden, boom, pen, and you're like, oh, there it goes again, So that's just how I look at it. I don't really debate them. They are what they are. I love the game because they exist. Your red cards and your pen. I remember Gerard came on in one game, and I think it was against Man U or whatever, and he had a little step out on I think it was at the coming, just come on the field, and got a red, and I was like, these are the handicaps that you like in the game. This will make this game so beautiful, because now you're down to 10 men. What are you gonna do? So I don't really debate them. I just accept them as challenges. You think you're smooth sailing, boom, now you got 10 men. Deal with it. So, so that's what
it was. Yeah, I don't know, man. These rules keep changing. I don't think they're changing, but sort of the interpretation of rules keep changing. Like one week they're giving us an interpretation of a rule and saying, no, but this can be interpreted like this. This referee saw it like this. And then the next week, how many block-offs do we see like that in the penalty area? Are we saying every block-off is going to be a red card, not only the penalty? I agree it was a penalty. But then are we saying that a block-off like that, which is a penalty, results in a red card? Or are you saying it because he was clean through?
I think because he's clean through and he's the last man. That's the reason for me. Like, it doesn't have to be a vicious pull of the shirt and there's mad slide tackle. He's the last man. He's not trying to play for the ball. For me, it's a clear as day red card. But that's a problem also with like VAR. We thought VAR would come and sort all these problems out. Like even the penalty today, let's be honest, the Man City one, like, why did they not check that properly? Because if you look at it, if they looked at it properly, a normal person would be like, maybe De Bruyne didn't even get touched properly. Maybe just dived. Why did it fall like that? But they pick and choose when they look at the VAR.
That's the problem.
So if you're gonna pick and choose, you're gonna always give us subjective opinions. For me, scrap the VAR thing. I think there's a new offside thing that's gonna come in the World Cup with the semi-automated thing. Use that. Use the goal line technology, and yeah, that's enough. I was watching the Championship today, man. Sheffield United, Burnley. Every goal that goes in is a goal. Like, I know there's no nonsense that's gonna come with VAR. Like, that's proper football, man. But yeah, that's a debate for another day, I guess.
People in the chat.
You don't like VAR?
VAR? No, I hate VAR, man.
I love VAR.
You love VAR?
What?
Nah, I hate it, man. Bro. I don't even care.
Double celebrations and the double groans. I love them.
Double groans.
I just want to know a goal's a goal. The offsides as well now, like with the linesmen. Like, what's the point of them nowadays because of VAR?
People, remember the date. 5th of November, Bilal is saying he hates VAR. When he gets a decision, because of the VAR, and he gets into the Champions League spot or through to the next round, he's going to come smiling and say, you know what, VAR, yeah, that's me. VAR. He's going to be like the front of the queue, cheerleading about VAR.
I think these referees stink either way, man. But let them stink in the old-fashioned way. I prefer that than this VAR nonsense where they look 100 times and it's still a stinky decision. So for me, just get rid of it. Honestly, it's not football as well. This is a sport. It's a sport, not a science, man.
Yeah, but I think they get more decisions right than wrong. Let's be real. they clear up decisions, man. Interpretation, you may argue with one or two, but the majority of the ones they get right.
Hear this then. Last season, Man City, Everton, that handball. Like, come on, like these decisions. It's VAR. We've got everything working. Why are they getting penalties?
I know, but that's not that's not VAR though, is it, Bilal?
No, that's what I'm trying to. Yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to say. Even with or without VAR, the VAR just adds more to the chaos. That's what I'm trying to say. I think
it eliminates the absolute howlers that you can make. Then it just lessens the margin of error. So you could be a referee, and me and you referee, we go and look at the VAR. We say, you know what, that's not intentional handball. You say, no, that is. I'll give a penalty. You won't. But we've had a look at it. The VAR's not the issue. It's the mother. You understand? Looking at it, they need to be trained and know what the rules and permutations are of what we're looking for and how to interpret a situation. It's the people. It's always the people, Bilal. Always the people.
That's why. Just did the VAR thing, man. This is football.
But then you're gonna. But then it's people. But then you're not gonna enjoy it with the crazy.
I think offsides, and goal line technology. That's all we need. That's literally the only two things we need in football. Everything else, the referee needs to
look what everyone's saying. Look what everyone's saying, and everyone's on your back, bro. Bilal not making much sense. Everyone referees a problem, bro. You need to reassess this opinion of yours, man.
No, I'm sorry, guys. Listen, if it's up to me, there'll be no VAR tomorrow. We're going back to normal. I'll let you guys have the goal line technology. I'll let you guys have the offsides, which are semi-automated. But apart from that, no VAR. No, honestly, for me, there's no need for it. But we'll see. Give it another. It's not gonna go anyway. You know, when something comes in football, it's not gonna disappear. It's gonna stay, and I'm just gonna have to get used to it even more.
People in the chat, we've spoken about a few topics that were on our mind. We had a Chelsea caller at the start of the chat who wanted to speak about sort of the Chelsea structure, etc., and how players success or fail, which was great chat. We're going to bring in Hussein. I'm sure it's Hussein. Is it Hussein?
Yeah, Huss. I go by. Yeah.
I beg your pardon. Huss. How you saying, my bro? Yeah, we're doing well, bro. I hope you managed to finish. I hope you didn't rush your soup or whatever it was.
Nah, just some stir fry. I was eating.
Stir fry. No problem, man. I hear that. I smell that. I see that. It's made me hungry, but it is what it is. Yeah, no problem, man. Welcome, man. What are you saying?
Nah, thanks for having me. Now I was actually going to ask a question to Bilal. You're an Arsenal fan, right?
Yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan. Yep.
Yeah, what I was going to ask you was, obviously, speaking to a lot of Arsenal fans, and obviously they're doing very well this season, but Arsenal fans are trying to admit, like, do you guys think you're actual title challengers now, or would you not go as far as saying that, or do you think you should embrace it and that you are closest challengers to City? And what's your thoughts on that? Like, do you think you can take City, maybe not win the title, but even take it to like the last 5 games and be in with it, like, 4 or 5 points of City? Do you think you can take it that far, or do you think there's no chance we'll just try to get top 4? Or what's your thoughts on Arsenal, really?
Well, the first thing I'll say at this point, listen, if you can't say Arsenal are title challengers, then what's the point? Because if Arsenal are not title challengers, then nobody in this league's a title challenger, and we're just going to have to accept this Man City domination for I don't know how much longer, But apart from that, I would say if Arsenal want to continue this challenge, because they're in the challenge right now, they're in the hunt, they need to, invest in January. That's the only way to keep pace with Man City. They need to get another attacker, another defensive midfielder, at the bare minimum, 2 players. If they don't get those 2 players, then yeah, it's going to be sticky. There's reports today coming out from Brazil. They're talking about Danilo, Palmeiras defensive midfielder, looks to be good, highly rated. If he comes into Arsenal, maybe he can offer some competition, but then there's always that risk where he's coming from Brazil to the hardest league in the world. Is he going to adapt? Arsenal up front, Jesus hasn't scored in, I believe, about 7 goals. I know he's doing everything else great. His link up, his work rate, he's letting the likes of Saka, Martinelli, shine. But the goals and the output, if we're keeping it real, just not there, not for a main number 9 in the team. So these are the areas Arsenal need to address. They need to get more goals in the team. They need to make sure that when Partey's not fit, for example, that they have adequate cover and keep players fit. Like Tomiyasu went down the other day. He's a key player for Arsenal, Even though he hasn't been starting every single week, he's an important player because he can cover all the back 4. But these are the kind of things. Avoid injuries, invest, and then at the end of the season, maybe Arsenal can still be within a few points of Man City and doing something. But it's a long season. We see Man City at this point. Liverpool have got how many points every season? Like 90s? Was it 96 last season?
Yeah,
like, it's like this. Liverpool would have won the league multiple times in any other era, but in this era with Man City, mate, like it's a joke. It is a joke. So you just have to hope for the best, I guess.
Zuberi, I was going to ask you, Hus wants to know about Arsenal. I know you joke around with Bilal and you wind him up and this and that, but do you want to give an opinion on what Hus is saying? Like, are Arsenal serious? Should Arsenal fans take their challenge seriously?
Hey, big up to you, Hus. I see you on the call and last week as well. Hey, I like your take on football. Where I think Arsenal needs to go crazy is the fact that I'm not even tuning into social media, and I came across something that says when Arteta was a player, Pep linked him for tactics. And he went straight in as Pep number 2. And then he went as a number 2 straight over to Arsenal. And now Arsenal are here. I think, I'm not trying to toot them up because I did that on another show. But yo, Arsenal and Arteta just as a man and a coach, he look like he's the real deal. He's really starting to up his stock. I don't know if you agree with me, Huss, or not, but I'm not saying they're going to go places and take on City. The City is a different beast, you know. Us,
yeah, sure.
I don't know how long you've been following City and Pep, but these men will ruin your life, you know.
We've seen it ourselves with Liverpool fans.
Last day of the season, they'll ruin your life. Have you watching 2 games at once, you know? While your team is playing, you're watching another game. So I don't know.
What we're saying,
Arsenal can cut that. I think you have to fight for number 2. It's your second place.
Your Wi-Fi is pissing me off.
This is a Bundesliga, man. This is a Bundesliga. Everyone's getting that second place trophy.
No, but you know what I was going to say? You see, Hus, you know how like Bilal looks fresh right now?
Yeah, let's get
vibrant.
to, you know.
Yeah. Every match that I see his tweets and he's like, yes, come on. The pressure is on. Like halftime, City are not winning and Bilal was like, yo, this could be the weekend. But
yeah,
give me end of the season, you're gonna look hella stressed. I reckon by next year you will have Grizz. Bro, I'm telling you.
Already got a couple coming somewhere here, man.
Who's telling you know what I mean? It ain't easy.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing this for like 2-3 years now, and I got to a point where I can't watch Man City games because they just bore you to death, really. They pass it around and then 1-0, you turn the TV off, really. But whether Arsenal can keep it up, we'll see. Liverpool have managed to do 90 plus points. I don't know if Arsenal can get to 90, but in the next 2-3 years, if they do the right investment, like if they go buy their Van Dijk, their Alisson, I think they can definitely challenge, but it's going to depend on if they can get the right pieces.
Before we ask Bilal the Arsenal perspective, what do you think is their next Van Dijk, their next Alisson, their next big boy that's going to be a game changer for them? Before we get the Arsenal fans' perspective, Bilal, from the outside, what do we think?
For me, it's more about bulking up the squad and getting into Champions League, mainly getting into Champions League first, and then proving that they can, fight in multiple fronts, as in a Wednesday, Saturday first. But I think they just need to bulk up their team, especially in midfield. If Partey gets injured, I worry for them. But maybe, I don't know, because they've got a lot of young players, so I can definitely see them in the next 2-3 years going places if they spend, and mainly in midfield. I think another midfielder, someone like I said, like with Liverpool, we were a good team. We went to the Champions League final on loss in Kiev, but then we went and bought Alisson and Van Dijk. As soon as we did that, we knew a serious team. I think Arsenal still need to go buy that midfielder, maybe even like maybe another forward as well, just to bulk it up, and then but mainly midfield. I think if they do that, then for sure, I think in the next 2-3 years they could be the team that looks to challenge Man City.
Before we get Bilal's,
do you think?
Give me 1 second, Zeus. Just give me 1 second. My brother from Big Six I recognize this brother from the Big Six check. Big up yourself, JJ Ashman. He's followed me on here, so big up every time. He says, Salam, Grizz, welcome. Salam. Massive respect, my brother, for the great punditry, one of a kind of sense of humor, and the voice of reason on the Big Six. Ain't easy, bro. Big up, OG, and wish us luck against Chelsea tomorrow. 100, bro. 100. I got back my brother Bilal, man. I mean, Arsenal. If it ain't Liverpool, it's Arsenal, man. That's the way I roll, man. Because you know, what I mean, my son supports Arsenal, so it's got to keep it in the family at least, innit? You understand?
Arsenal, man. Arsenal. Saved me in 2018, man.
No, shut up with them ones, man. Arsenal, man.
Arsenal.
Allow that business, man.
No, bro, you know, I had the Arsenal Liverpool logo before that Liverpool Tottenham Champions League final.
Lord.
I had it everywhere. Like, come on.
Allow that.
And Liverpool delivered me. It was after like 2 minutes, Salah scores. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Big up Ash every time. So go on. Who's this saying? Or Zubs, you come afterwards.
Yeah, I wanted to ask him a question. You mentioned Allison and their VVD. I don't know if he was talking about like the caliber of players, but as he said, get their Allison. I'm thinking, do you not see Ramsdale as their guy, or you don't rate Ramsdale?
Yeah, so my unpopular opinion is actually I don't actually rate Ramsdale that highly. I'm not sure he's a title-winning goalkeeper, but I may be wrong on that. I just don't see him as that level. But obviously he's doing well so far, so it's hard to kind of knock him at this moment in time. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Ramsdale, guys? Because do you see him as like that? Like, can you see him being a goalkeeper part of a title-winning team? I can't.
I can't as well, but I don't know. It's up to the Arsenal.
I just don't see it with that guy.
No, he's too eccentric for me. He's too erratic for me.
Yeah,
I rate him, but he's obviously not on that level of the Allisons right now. He's definitely a level, maybe even two below. But what he offers you is mad personality. On the ball, he's not scared to play good passes. His short range passes, mid range, normally really good. Even some of the pings that he plays across, sometimes even the likes of Martinelli, the Saka, they're good passes. And in the air, he's strong. You know, he's not a weak goalkeeper. That's what we were talking about Leno a second ago. Like, Leno is a weak goalkeeper in the air. When you have corners and set pieces, I'm not scared that Ramsdale's not going to win the ball. Ramsdale's a strong, he's imposing goalkeeper. His shot stopping is good, but I think the one issue he does have is bit of concentration sometimes. That's literally about it. I say his concentration is the thing that he probably needs to work on. Even if there's this video going around about the goal we conceded against Southampton and a bird comes on the pitch, he's looked at it and they've gone and scored. Like, these little things.
Are you serious?
Yeah. This is the kind of thing. He's always bantering with the fans behind him, which it's fun, but maybe these are kind of things that he says it gets him into the game. So he says it helps him, but I think the concentration and mental aspect of the game is maybe where he needs to improve, because I think he's got a lot of qualities that just need to be refined. He's only, 23, 24? He's a young goalkeeper, man.
Yeah.
But listen, if you guys want to give me Alisson, if you guys will make Champions League, give him on loan 1 year. You guys come back Champions League, I'll give him back to you. How about that? All right, thank you. I'll take Alisson. You can have Ramsdale for a year as well.
No, Ramsdale. I like the point that you make about his personality and his character and his vibrancy. But for me, my goalkeeper needs to create calmness amongst the back four. Your greatest keeper of all time was Seaman, and the reason why was because his character and his personality emanated on everyone around him. Yeah, because he was so calm, he's so cool. Yeah, there's very few people that can have that effect on a back four. You know what I mean? So this guy, to me, he'd make me worry all the time, or not worry per se, but you guys get what I'm saying? Is like, you always have to be thinking, what's he going to do next? You don't want to keep up that you're thinking what's going to do next. You want to keep it that you know what he's going to do. He might fuck up what he's going to do, but you know what he's going to do. You know he's going to come out for a ball in this situation. You know he's going to stay on his line in this situation. Once you get a goalkeeper that you can't read, because he can't read himself sometimes. He makes his decisions literally on the spot there and then. He ain't got no tactical way of playing. He's erratic. So that's the way I look at keepers. But don't get me wrong, he's done a good job. I must admit he's done better than I thought.
Yeah, listen, when he's first signed, well, he was about to sign, the rumours that all the Arsenal fans were against him. Like, they were saying, why are we signing a keeper who's in the Championship, been relegated about like 2 or 3 times, blah, 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 blah. The fact that he's pulled the situation, like, pretty much within his first 2 games, and, you know, I think that game against Leicester where he made some crazy saves, like, you got the fans on side. I think that shows already his mentality. I think he's a player that has a lot of potential, to be honest. I don't think, even in terms of minutes played for a goalkeeper this young, I think only maybe Donnarumma is a goalkeeper above him in Europe in terms of his age and all of that. So he's got a lot of experience, the likes of Ramsdale, Donnarumma, who's the other one, the Leeds goalkeeper as well, Meslier. You know, these kind of goalkeepers there.
He makes
Meslier, I
mistakes.
don't rate him. Yeah, I don't rate him that much. And he's another level or 3 even below. But he's still young. He's still got the potential. Ramsdale's gone through the hard yards of playing for Sheffield United and, you know, all of that. So for me, I'm very happy with him, to be honest. The money we've paid, the feeling I get when I know you say you're a bit scared when you see Ramsdale. For me, I don't even get nervous when he has the ball more often than not. I'm quite comfortable with him. And I've had some bozo goalkeepers, man. I used to deal with Almunia, you know. So for me, anything above Almunia is looking good. But
even today, what we saw from Leno was disgusting.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, it was disgusting. Both those goals. Are we serious? I don't know. I'm not a goalkeeping expert. Zoobs, are you a goalkeeping expert?
Yeah, it was my first.
You're an expert. Yeah. I knew it.
It
You're
was my first position in football, so I look at them different. I rated them, you know. I always rate them from Bournemouth when I'm playing FIFA because I don't do the buy all the 90 plus, you know, overall players. I go for some guys that I like, and I did like Ramsdale.
No, Leno. We're asking about Leno, bro.
Oh, Leno. No, I never rated Leno. Leno was a name.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna not rate you.
Oh no. Leno was always a name. You have these players, they come into a team whether young or not, and they're just a name, and they get put to the sword like the J-Lings, and just some players in football is just a name. Literally, it's just a name and who rates them. That's it. So if they go into a decent manager, that manager might be like, yo, you're dead cool. Look at Joe Hart, another goalkeeper. Pep came in and was like, yo, I don't rate you. And a lot of people never really rated him. He split opinions amongst the fans. Some was like, nah, he's dope because he's won this with the team. Or you can be like, was it the team or the defense that carried? You know, because he was facing like 2 shots per game. So it was him or the team. And that's just what some goalkeepers are.
People, there's 300 of you in here. The likes is just over 100. Stinky ratio fix up in it, people. What I was going to say, by the way, some people are complaining about people being rude and abusive in the chat or making some abusive comments towards each other. I'm going to mod up a few more people. I've modded up the usuals. Let me know if you want to be modded up. And everyone's allowed an opinion. Everyone's allowed to banter our clubs, whether it's Liverpool, Chelsea, United, wherever. But there's no form of abuse allowed. No form of personal abuse, racist abuse, homophobic, anything. No abuse allowed. So let's keep it real. Let's keep it fun. The banter's allowed. You guys know I give, so I'm allowed to take it, and I take it as well. So if you can take it, if you give it, you can take it. But abuse, no, we're not having abuse. Yeah, man, I'm going to mod you up, Gunavet. Give me 1 second. But, Hostman, talk to me. What else you want to ask?
Let's just quickly move on to a bit of a Liverpool chat because see Arsenal.
Shit.
Now, I'll keep it quick short. Basically, it looks like in January we probably will buy a midfielder. It looks like it's probably going to be someone like Conrad Lima. My question to whoever wants to answer, Zuberi, Grizz, if we bought in Conrad Lima, do you guys think that's enough to basically let us finish in the top 4? If we just done Conrad Lima, no one else, because it looks like we won't be able to get the Bellinghams, the Rice in the January window. It's going to be tough. So if we just buy like a, that type of midfielder, not our main target, do you still think that's enough? And what's your thoughts on Lima anyway as a player?
Who wants to go first?
I'll take this. Lima is the guy at was it Leipzig, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Was in the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
I think he's all right. I hear a lot of people saying his availability is questionable, and I think what we need is someone available. I know that's kind of lowering the bar, but we need someone who's available. And if his availability is in question, that's a big word for me. As far as just getting one midfielder in Jan, I'm okay with that, but he has to be a solid player. When I mean solid, I'm talking about the main attribute being available. Is this guy available? Is he going to be available week in, week out? Then I'll worry about the performance, because right now we have guys that can do the performance, but they're not available. You see where I'm going? So I'd like a guy to come in and we can rely on him week in and week out. If he's getting 5s and 6, I'll allow him to work his way up. Hopefully they do. But I don't want a quality guy in and we're back to square one with, oh yeah, he's still in the sick bay or whatever, the nursery or whatever we got over there. Then people are always in there. There must be candies in there or something. But if we get one guy in and he's available and he can carry us to the summer, I'll take that. But if we get one guy in top 4, can he break that mold? Possibly, because we're not solid in the midfield. We don't have something consistent going in there. And I've always asked this question. We need a guy in midfield that we can rely on. His name is going to be the first name in midfield on the team sheet, because then that brings a little bit of harmony from defense, midfield, and attack. The midfield is always chopping and changing. There's no nailed-on guy in there. It's in the air. You know how Salah is always going to be on the right wing. You know Alisson is always going to be in goal. VVD is always going to be in there if he's fit. We don't have a midfielder like that. So that's what I need. I would just need that guy to be that guy for the midfield. And I think we should be all right, because then we can build a team around that spine. You see where I'm going? But as far as Lema, if he's available, I think he can do a job, because we don't really ask a lot from the midfield. So I think he can do a job to get us some consistent result. Consistent result can get us top 4.
I looked at the table right now just to say it's like 9 points, I think, behind Man United. If my maths are correct, it's like 4. It might be 7 points actually, but it's a considerable amount of points at this stage of the season. There's 2 games left, I believe, until the World Cup, right? If you guys don't beat Tottenham tomorrow, for example, and then I don't know who you're playing after Tottenham. Do you guys know?
Southampton at home.
Southampton. So you should win that game, but really, you need to win. Yeah, exactly. Remember when Hassan Hutel won and he went on his knees and started crying last time? Yeah, like it's
Well, you saying 9 points is considerable? That's what I heard, because we pegged back, man, 14 points. You know.
I know, but it's a different Liverpool, man.
We're not even in December, so
it's not the same. The Liverpool right now.
Points is considerable. We can do that. We can do that. Sure.
At this point, for me, I'm looking at Liverpool. I had them in top 4, but then the last few results, the Leeds result for me, I'm looking at that like that was bad. It's for me at this point, I'm looking at Liverpool. Yes, they need that midfielder to come in January. Whether it's 1, for me, probably 2. If you can get 2, I know Grizz is saying it's probably only going to be 1. It's a January window. It's not going to be after the World Cup. Prices are going to be just mad probably after the World Cup. So you have to be smart about your business. But I look at that team now, and Liverpool now this year has become just transition. It's the next year where Liverpool should come back strong, because you've sorted the midfield. The Kunates hopefully will come back into the team. The youngsters that you've got, they've had a year just bedding into the team. The Elliott, the Carvalhos, the Calvin Ramseys. These guys, hopefully over the next 6 months until the end of the season, they'll start, developing even more. And then when you add the midfield reinforcements and the likes of the Diaz and the Jotas, and maybe you add another attacker, who knows? Then Liverpool will come back. Because that's what I said, as long as Klopp is around, I wouldn't be worried about Liverpool. But it's just this season could be a bit tough, because I'm looking at Newcastle, 1 game a week. Who knows what they're going to do in January? Don't sleep on them. And if Newcastle get top 4 this season, it's a big problem next season, because the money they're going to be able to invest, it's mad. Man City, we look at what they're doing. It didn't take them that long to get moving in this direction. How long have Man City really been doing this? Not that long compared to the great histories of Liverpool's and Man United's, etc. Yeah, so for me, next season, this summer coming up, that's the big one. Liverpool need to make sure they get it right. Like the transfers in the past, Liverpool, how many transfers? 9 out of 10. Most of the time, it's in the right direction. They need to get back on track and doing that again. And yeah, it's just that midfield. But this season, as I said, it could be a bit tight.
What are you saying?
In terms of us, I mean, what's
the answer to your question in your mind?
So with Lima, I think he's a decent player, but he's not really one I want in the team, because I think he's a good player, but I'd rather us go for someone else. I think he's also a bit injury prone. I think he's missed like 65 games since 2021. I know he had like an ankle injury or something like that. So, but if I'd want someone else. So I think top 4 is going to be quite tough, because you got Arsenal, Man City, who are probably going to get top 4. I think Manchester United actually are unfortunately probably going to get top 4 this year. I think Chelsea and Tottenham are the ones that we have to be looking at more probably. I think Man United probably get it. Maybe we'll see, but
if United get a striker,
I have a feeling they might get it, unfortunately. Yeah. And then us, I think if we buy a player, a midfielder. And if it's Lima, then yeah, I think it'll be tough, Grizz. I don't know what you think. I think we need a natural quality midfielder. It can't just be any. But I do think we could still get it. It's not over, but it will depend on the quality of midfielder. Until I can't really say sitting on the fence, but if I see,
No, you're right. You're right. You can't say because we don't. You're right. It all depends on the quality of the midfielder.
If it's Lima, I'm not sure.
I think we're going to get a very good quality midfielder. That's all I'm saying for now. So
if that's the case, then I think we should.
I think we're going to get a very, very good midfielder in January. My views on Lima, I think Lima's fantastic. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys and burst your bubbles or have the opposite opinion of you. Lima's injury situation is not as severe as it seems. Remember how we thought Konate was injury prone?
Yeah.
Konate has
it was an ankle injury, wasn't it?
It's a massive ankle break. So therefore, he missed a lot of games. But the guy will be a throwback if he decides to join us because we really like him. But I don't think he's going to accept joining us. I think he's still heart is set on Bayern. I suggested we made a move for him in the summer window, and then it was later confirmed by the reliable journalist that we did actually make a move for him. But we weren't ready to pay the kind of money they wanted a year early because we know, they can take the piss, because he's got 1 year left on his contract. Bayern were interested in, but it looks like Bayern are more interested in Gundogan from Man City now. So they're looking away from Lima. Not looking away from Lima, but keeping their options open. So Lima's keeping his options open, as any sensible footballer would do. I personally would love Lima. I personally love him. He's that right-sided 8 that we're looking and crying for. Absolute machine. And he's very good on the ball. Zuberi was talking earlier about, we need that machine-like player again. He's like a young Milner, people. A young Milner. Imagine that. Other day, no. Don't give me that look. You don't know a young Milner. You was watching basketball then. You don't know about young Milner. Don't tell me about young Milner. Zubs is trying to tell me about young Milner. Go on, explain your look.
You're right. I don't know about young Milner because
facts. There you go. End of topic.
He's consistent in the Premier League, and that's something I said I want from Lima. But when you say young Milner, and I'm like recency bias, Milner is very, very consistent. He's a proven quality player. I think he's been at a couple teams, and everywhere he goes, very successful.
Yeah, all good teams. Every even the names like the Leeds obviously came up through there. Villa when he was there, Villa were like a top 6 team around them.
Guys, Milner when he started off, Milner was a proper baller. We're looking at him now like 37. Guy can't run. He shouldn't be anywhere near the first team 11. He should be coming on in emergency situations when we need someone to just I don't know what we need someone. We need someone just to go in the corner and get a foul or something or do some shithousery in the corner flag. People are judging him now. Go on, see what the professional footballers speak about Milner growing up as a footballer, man. People like Mancini and all these managers that had him.
No, I know what you're saying.
One of the maddest careers in football in general. If you actually look at his career, it's crazy. Like the amount of years he's played, the minutes, the positions.
Look at this. Always fit. 20 years, brother.
Yeah, mad.
Are you not joking, man? Yeah, put some.
We talk about CR7, bro. We talk about CR7 all the time. We say, "Oh, look at his athleticism, how he looks after his body." But look at what Milner does in the positions he plays. Probably a bit more demanding than what Ronaldo's transformed himself into in the last 5 to 10 years into that striker that hangs around. But Milner, left back, right back, centre mid.
But I digress. I don't think we're going to get Milner because of that fact and because he's injured right now. Because we need someone to step in January right now. I think we might address it in summer if Lima's up for it. And he may be up for it. He may not. We don't know that yet. But we're definitely in for him if he's up for it. But if I just put out a name to you guys, how would you feel about our chances if we go for Caicedo and we actually get him?
Top 4 easy.
Easy, yeah?
Yeah. That's why I see it like that. Like he's a top player if we can get him in, but he's going to cost a lot of money. I feel like in January, will Brighton let him go?
Money is always an issue with us. Of course it is. We know this, but I tweeted it this morning. I truly believe we're gonna
flex.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do more than flex. I think in our next 2 windows, we're going to break our net spend record.
Casado is not a January signing, but he's more of a summer signing.
If we do it in January, then
good moment, you know.
You guys have made January signings though in the past, the
Yeah.
Van Dijks, the Diaz. You have
Yeah,
done it. It's not like some other clubs don't do it at all.
In the summer, they just weren't finalized, I think. You know, most of those signings are actually just failed summer signings. And I don't think...
Yeah, but or necessity. Necessities. This is a necessity now.
Yeah, or maybe, you know, we know Chelsea want him, so maybe that, similar to Diaz, coming early for him.
Chelsea won't get Rice or Casado. Chelsea won't get
Rice as well.
Sorry. Chelsea won't get Rice and Casado.
Yeah.
So pick your choice. That's what I'm saying.
What about Fabinho? Is there any competition? Is he gonna get any competition in his position?
That's what I'm talking about.
A lot of it. Okay, even if you sign like a left centre mid and a right centre mid, for example, let's say, it's still that number 6 position. And we know Tchouaméni was meant to be that guy to take over. Didn't happen, but there needs to be another guy that can come in there and do something.
That's what we're screaming for. That's what we're screaming for. That's why Lima wouldn't be. That's why Lima wouldn't be a priority for me in January more than a Fabinho replacement. That's just my opinion. You guys, Zoobs and Hus, might think different. You might think, no, I want someone to play in that as an 8 option or on the right option. For me, it's always has been. I want someone to be that beast that Fabinho used to be. That's me.
I see what you're saying. I think from the way I see it, it's if we get the right side 8, that frees up Hendo to rotate in there with Fab. There's that. If we're using Jones on the left side 8, then we can also put Thiago in there just to control some games. And then obviously you have your likes of Milner that can just float in and out of there. So I don't think Fab position is the one we'll run in for. But if a guy comes available in general, we might just take the punt. But we need somebody more reliable in the 8.
But would you say put Thiago in the DM? Like it's a 6, controlling the game? But I wouldn't like to see that, to be honest.
Not now. Zuberi, you're bugging, man. You're bugging me. You're bugging. Your Wi-Fi is bugging. Thiago in the 6, not at this age. Thiago with someone else in a pivot. Like, you know, like a Fabinho, like Thiago and a Fabinho, but a rejuvenate Fabinho, the Fabinho that we know would work. But Thiago on his own with 2 8s.
Go and get Sangare, man. That guy is such a machine. Every time I watch him, and
Sangare,
the height he was at to Liverpool. Yeah,
Sangare was one of the guys that we asked about and looked at. Unfortunately, at the time, Klopp and Kall didn't want him. We were ready to do a deal with him, but I think we may revisit that again. He's a monster. We're going to keep it moving, my bro. Wicked, we're going to keep in touch, my friend. Speak to you soon.
Yes,
pleasure speaking to you.
As always,
Wicked.
man. Take care,
man.
Nice one. Take care. Just a couple of super chats, man. Oh, he's gone. Shit. All right, sorry, man. They asked him facts. I don't know if he's asking us, but he was asking us who's finishing top 4 in your opinion. Go on, Bilal. Put your neck on your line. Put your neck on the line.
All right, Arsenal, Man City, that's a 2. And then I had Liverpool in it, but I don't know, man. Every time I come with a new answer, whether Liverpool's in it or not, that was a question mark. I thought if Liverpool was normal Liverpool, it would have been cakewalk to finish 3rd place. But I am feeling this Man United thing. I'm not gonna lie. It's the way they. It's just if they had better attackers, if they had the Osimhens, for example, we talk about him. If they make that big striker signing in January, maybe Man United could do it. And I've got a little sneaky suspicion about Newcastle. I just have a feeling Newcastle could do it. So right now, that would be my top 4, and that would take out Chelsea and Tottenham. But if Tottenham win tomorrow, then all of a sudden my prediction is starting to look a bit funny because they just keep on getting points whenever I count them out. So yeah, I don't know. I've just got a sneaky feeling that Man United and Newcastle could do it this season, to be honest.
Interesting. Eric Backer sends in a super chat, says Rice to Chelsea feels inevitable. It does. But then so did so many transfers. Mbappe to Real Madrid felt inevitable. That's the most inevitable transfer we ever saw. But, things happen.
We were having a mad debate about Rice the other day on Young Bucks because I was the only one who's saying, listen, I don't rate him, especially for that price tag. Like, wouldn't spend the money.
You've got to separate the price tag from the player, though, innit? It's like,
even,
what do you think?
Yeah, but even, okay, no, okay, yeah, it's true. Because if he was like, if you told me 30 million, 40 million, you get Declan Rice, cool. But you start talking over 80 million to get Declan Rice, I'm saying not a chance, because now we're talking maybe one of the best DMs in the world or whatever. For me, it's not that. For me, he's a good player, but for me, he lacks a lot as well. So I don't know, but I think Chelsea are going to do it because Todd Bowley's talking about wanting to build a youthful side, wanting to invest in the youth. I think if before he came in, the likes of Tomori, the Gays, the Tammy Abrahams are all still there, then maybe they wouldn't have had the need to spend on the Fofanas, the Cucurellas, etc. But yeah, it's a different discussion, as I said. But yeah, I don't know. Declan Rice, 100 million? I don't know.
No, 100 million is ridiculous in it. But as I said, they can't do much about that. All right, people, there's 320 of you in here. Let's all take a second out to press that like button, because that's what we need. It's all about the likes. You understand? You like me, I'll like you. You hate me, I'll hate you. You don't want me to hate you. I'm telling you. You don't want me to hate you.
Show them love, man. Show everyone love, man.
You understand? But Bilal, you know what I mean? Bilal's different. Bilal's a nice guy. I'm not a nice guy, man. All right, let's get the next callers in. People want to know the order. My private chat seems to be on and off. I'm putting loads of messages in it, but no one's responding. So let's see. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to let you people know who's next. So King's Football Show is next. Then we've got Abdullah. Then we've got Jezza. Then we've got Natraj. Then we've got Jamie. That's the order for now. Guys, that's the order for now. So we got King's Football Show, Abdullah, Jezza, Natraj, and Jamie. We're going to try to keep it moving, people. Understand the time is flying. The debates have been class so far, I'm not going to lie. People have triggered us, rattled us, all sorts. I love it. Bilal's kept cool. You know what I mean? That's how I got Bilal's kept cool. But let's get King's Football Show on the stream, man. Yes, my brother. I hope you're very well.
Assalamu alaikum, Grizz and Bilal. I hope you're good,
bro.
man. I think I subscribed to your channel today, Bilal.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Same as you, man. Big up.
Wicked.
Big up, man. Yeah, I was listening to your debates and they were wicked, man. And I just wanted to make a comment on one of them. I feel like, when I grew up, you could see everybody could appreciate different kind of players. So no one would look like Inzaghi and be like, oh, you're not like Rivaldo. I don't rate you because you just score goals. Like, no one would look like Trezeguet and say those kind of things. Oh, you're just a poacher. Like, you would appreciate Inzaghi, you would appreciate Trezeguet. You could still love Ronaldo and Rivaldo. But I felt like since we went into that Messi and Cristiano era, and fans and media start comparing them, who's the best? Oh no, you gotta be a silky baller. Oh no, you gotta be efficient. Oh, but Messi got ball. No, Ronaldo got ball. And I felt like after that, it kind of went wild to a point where it was almost like Hazard and Salah is enemies. You either like team Hazard or your team Salah. You can't appreciate both. Like, and I feel like it's sad because you miss out on so much good things that you can appreciate from different kind of players and see them for what they are and rate them for what they give to your team or different teams. And I felt like fans need to go back to just rate players for who they are, not for what they don't have, if that kind of makes sense.
No, it does make sense. But sorry, Bilal, go on, you go.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. That makes sense. I think Opta stats and all that. I think that started in like 2006, around that year. I think ever since the stats era started coming into football, numbers, and then the Messi and Ronaldo thing just happened while the stats era was happening at the same time. That's just created a thing where everyone's comparing each other every single game. And it's only getting worse, And players like Hazard and Salah, they're different players. I know they play up front. There was a time where Hazard didn't score for like a year. He didn't score a goal for a year, but no one said Hazard's rubbish. No, because he's a fantastic player. We know his quality, but a lot of people would have used that and be like, you know what? Okay, that means Hazard's completely washed for X players. But I think at the time it was always Hazard and Alexis Sanchez debate. So that was always the one where you say, oh, Hazard hasn't scored for X amount of time. But yeah, I think the stats era and the Messi Ronaldo thing has definitely, just played a massive part into this comparison tit for tat era that we live in.
Yeah, it's true, man. I mean, there's always going to be comparisons. There's always going to be, but it's always a personal preference. It just comes down to personal preference. Stats, you can always screw stats however you want to screw them. You can throw in stats to win an argument in any situation, in any case, any scenario. I could anyway. I could argue until you get blue in the face. And you're going to say, you know what? My case was so strong, but this Grizz brother just hit me with some stats. And I'm not going to lie, they're not even going to make sense probably, right? But I'll just throw stats and numbers at you. And you're going to think, you know what? Shit, it may make sense. So it's all about, look, when you're judging a player, it's all about your preference on a player. My God, imagine giving, I don't know, name me the two best coaches of all time. I don't know. Let's just say Pep. Let's just say Pep and Capello.
Pep and Mourinho. Oh yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. You give them, and you give them a blank piece of paper, and you can say to both of them, not the players they've coached, but pick their best in their. If they could coach the best 11 players they've ever seen. Pick them. You guys think they're going to pick the same 11?
Not a chance.
Not a chance. But and are we going to argue with Pep Guardiola's selection of player? Are we going to argue with Fabio Capello's selection of player? This is the beauty of the game. I'm guessing. I'd love to do that. You know, that shit. That's a mad idea. You know, I'm a genius sometimes. That's a sick idea, man. Oh yeah, I need to run that with some people, man. But can you imagine that though? Like, imagine like. Wow, we'd be fascinated. We'd think, okay, now surely they're going to pick Messi. Surely they're going to pick Maradona. Surely they're going to pick Pele. We don't know. Surely what? There's no surely. Is there a surely? So that's the beauty of it, man.
It's a game of opinions, man. And it's a game of how, that's why we have different tactics, different styles of play, different types of manager. That's what makes football fun. Otherwise, if everyone all played the same, you know, it will get boring real quick. And that's why there's another thing with this era we live in now. A lot of teams are starting to become very similar. That's another thing that I've noticed. I think it's because.
What do you mean stylistically? What do you mean?
Yeah. I feel like the top teams, especially, are becoming
play the same way.
Yeah, a lot of. I feel like the Pep era of football has really influenced the modern game. In a way, I can't say it's bad because yes, you see more technical players, you see more control of the ball, but a lot of the
looks like we lost. We're having Wi-Fi issues, man. Looks like me and you the only ones with strong Wi-Fi.
Strong internet, man. Come on. But yeah, as I was saying, hopefully King's Football Show comes back. But as I was saying, yeah, I think this modern era, the Pep era, a lot of teams are starting to play that same sort of way. A lot of the teams have the same sort of ideas of how they want to play. A lot of teams are also becoming, you know, hybrids of each other. So the teams like Simeone's now, the Simeone's, the Antonio Conte's, you know, the Mourinho's, all of these guys who had their style of play that was so effective for the past decade and the decade before, it's disappearing now. They can't actually keep up. But there will be a style to counter that. And I think that's why Liverpool, Man City was always fascinating the last few years. Because yes, they have underlying principles which are similar in terms of they want to keep the ball, they want to attack. It's not negative football, but the way they did it was different. The counter pressing versus the control, you know, all of that sort of stuff and the little battles, they were always so fun to watch. So I think modern football just it's just in an interesting place. And I don't know how we're going to counteract this Pep style, because even you watch it like even Bayern Munich, Barcelona, all of these teams try to play the same. That's why last year, even the Champions League with Real Madrid winning it was fun, because Ancelotti ball was freestyle. We're going to go by the situation, last minute goals. It didn't really follow a rule book, but a lot of football now is just following a rule book. Players got told to do this. There's a lot of creativity maybe being snuffed out of the game, and that's why when you get the Haaland, you know, who could play probably any era of football, the Mbappes, we have to cherish them because those are the players that bring that feeling back, you know, of like proper football. But yeah,
I was talking about sort of what are the shores in the 11s that players would pick, coaches would pick, and obviously people start talking about, well, Ronaldinho is a surely, don't at me. Is he? Maybe someone prefer Neymar. I'm just saying, I don't know. This one I'm saying, like me personally, this one I'm saying, I'm agreeing with Katie. If R9 not in the team, then we have a problem.
The greatest striker of all time.
No, we have a problem. We have a problem. If R9, yeah, man, I'm saying what Manda's saying, man. R9 is R9. If we don't have R9 in one of the great teams, we have a problem, man. But listen, we're gonna get the next caller in. Bro, you know we've been going for an hour and a half. That time's flown by, man.
Yeah,
Lord
have
mercy.
Today.
All right, we're gonna get Abdullah in. I remember Abdullah. He's Man City fan. Yeah, Man
Assalamu
City.
alaikum. How are you?
Salam. We're good, bro. How are
Grizz,
you?
apologies, first of all. You were right. I was wrong. Because we haven't seen each other since the loss, the Anfield loss. We lost.
Okay.
We lost. I will never, ever watch a Liverpool versus Manchester City game at Anfield ever again. Never again. It's a waste of time.
Why? Why?
You know
why?
It's either you get a draw, or we lose. It's an automatic loss. There is no point in watching it. There's no point in watching it. I might as well save myself 90 minutes of my life because Pep will always overthink it at Anfield. We will never, apart from the COVID season, apart from the when games were cool.
Yeah, empty grounds. Yeah.
2020, 21. There's no point.
No, you can't say that, man. Your time will come.
Never.
350, I think, for
never, ever.
But at the end of the day,
pointless to watch. Like it really is. It really is. We always overthink it at Anfield when it comes to when the fans and the atmosphere. It's pointless to watch. Like a lot of City fans have said, save yourself the time. Don't watch the game. There's no point. There is no point.
I don't know, man. I don't know why you're going on
The
like
only-
that, man. I
the
think
only teams-
your time. Look, for example, there's three things that you take into consideration in these kind of situations. Either you got to be a fan that doesn't give a shit about your record at Anfield as long as you keep winning the Premier League at the end of the season, right?
Yeah,
So
I don't.
don't take that. So, but then it seems like you're taking the Anfield record
Yeah, but
way
I
too
know.
hard.
I'm not good. I'm just gonna save myself the 90 minutes of my life and not watch that game.
But you're still yeah, exactly. I get it. But for me,
just
you're
too
too good a team.
I
You're
feel
too
like
good a team
every
to think that
single
you're
game
never
I
going to win at
watch,
Anfield.
you know me. I've explained to you who I am. Yeah, I feel exhausted after any game.
I think you. I was going to say. I think you feel exhausted. Yeah, I think you feel exhausted any game. Never mind Liverpool.
I've made the bet with my.
Today must have nearly finished you.
Uncle, yeah? I do and I don't hope this bet goes ahead. It's not money, by the way. It's just agree. If my uncle's an Arsenal fan, yeah. If Arsenal win the league, I have to quit watching football altogether. Following it, everything. Walk away from the sport completely.
I think you're safe.
That's how confident I was. I'm slightly worried, but I'll stick to my principles, which is I will take Arsenal seriously if it's February, April.
It's not far, man. It's not long, man. It's not far. It's not long. Today, you guys say what you want.
Yeah.
You guys got a little bit lucky, I think.
We got lucky. Yes, we got lucky. I totally agree. I've been having arguments with my fellow fans, and they've honestly a lot.
What's
of
the
our
argument?
fan base,
Talk to us. What's the argument?
General, they're toxic. They are toxic. There are some idiots in every single fan base.
We know this.
And let's get on to the main suspect. Top two worst fullbacks defensively. Top two minimum. Joao Cancelo. That guy is a liability. I have said this for the past couple of seasons. He is a liability. And people call me a fake fat. My own fans call me fake. The guy is a liability. He got caught out twice against Spurs last season. Gets caught. He got caught out with Mo Salah this season. Today, I'm sorry. Why are you taking your man? Whether it's a penalty or not, you don't take your. Let the man run. It is you are the last. He's the last man, and of course you're gonna get a red. You're gonna get a red card, no matter what the offense. Whether it's a touch, if there's contact, it is a penalty and it is a red. You are the last man. Just let him run through. Like literally. We have to get fullbacks in January. Our fullbacks.
What are we saying? Zinchenko. What are we saying? Zinchenko is better than Cancelo. Is that what we're saying?
I've said that. No, I've said that. I didn't want Zinchenko to leave. Zinchenko is better than Cancelo.
That's what I want to hear.
Yo.
Okay, who did Zinchenko?
Zinchenko's a joke. I love him, but I can't lie.
No, who did the only reason he's not doing well at Arsenal is that you can't keep him fit. And you play him in midfield.
No, he is doing well. Apart from the injuries.
In terms of
Zinchenko's been
yes,
one of our best players.
Consistency, no. You play him in midfield. He hasn't played there. He only plays there for Ukraine. You play left back is the best position. He's
a left back. Arteta said he's a left back. He didn't sign him.
He's a left back. So you play him. He should be playing.
Let's get.
I was heartbroken when Zinny left.
Okay, we're gonna come to more of your points because they're interesting. But I want to get go on, Zoobs. I think you want to
I'll call
chime
them
in on
clown
the
statements.
Cancelo.
They're clown statements. I get called. Yeah, clown statements. You can classify.
Okay, no, don't worry about that, man. Everyone's
You know,
entitled
Balls.
to see what they
Zinchenko's that
want.
guy,
We
man.
don't
You
give
know,
a shit.
Balls.
No,
Don't worry.
Shut up, Bilal. You can't be. Zinchenko and Cancelo is a good one. But let me see what Zoom, because Zoom is smiling. So I always want to
How
know
you
what
say your name? Abdallah.
Abdullah.
Yeah,
Pick up
correct.
yourself, bro. Stay strong. Keep your opinions coming. You sound like the Zabiri of the City fans. You need people like you around you. Yo, I'm on your energy, you know, for Liverpool, though. So keep up your energy. They call me fake fan over there, you know. So keep it up.
You know
That means
what?
you're doing
I hope
something right.
that there's that tiny bit of me hoping that bet actually goes off, so then I can walk away from the sport because
Oh,
it is
shit.
draining me. It is draining me because I am sick of dealing with such clown fans from all fan bases. It is toxic. Like football fans are toxic in general. It is
Bro.
draining you. It's like talking to a little kid sometimes.
Yo, I'm with
You're
you.
killing
You know
me,
why?
bro.
It's draining.
But Zoobs, are you?
Zoob literally brought that topic up the other day about little kids.
Bro,
That's big of
no.
a laugh.
But see, the thing is, I'm gonna let you guys in a little secret. I actually lost a bet, and that's why I'm not on no socials for life. So mine wasn't a for a year thing. Yeah, it was because it's so draining. It eats up so much of your energy. And if you're saying that about football as a City fan, you must be like Zubiri on 10,000.
No, because apart
You
from
guys are
Bilal,
second.
and maybe a couple of other Arsenal fans that I've dealt with, Arsenal fans are clowns. They are clown FC, victim FC. They are the old. If things don't go their way, they resort to prototype and blaming the ref. It is prototype blaming the ref. Always blaming the ref. Or it's everyone but themselves. This is what
You cancelled
I call them a
Cancelo.
clown
Man,
fan
listen, I want to come back. I want to come back
Yeah,
to this
if
Cancelo.
we're gonna have
Cancelo,
the same energy for Trent, if we're gonna have the same energy for Trent, have the same energy for Cancelo.
No, I agree with that aspect, but you can't tell me, Abdullah. You can't tell me Cancelo.
Just 1 second, let me close my door. 1 second.
No problem. He can't tell us Cancelo is not a wonderful, wonderful footballer. Abdullah.
Yes, he is.
You can't be
I don't shy from that.
I remember last time people were suggesting that I'm going to check up on you and do some research on you and some FBI on you to see if you're really a Man City fan or you're coming in to troll and make jokes, right? But then I realized you are a Man City fan. No, I done my research. I didn't. Let's just say I did, right? But this Cancelo one, like, are you saying defensively he's not great? Because I can get up on that.
I mean, as defensively.
Okay.
Like I say, as fullbacks, traditionally it is a defensive role, and the way I criticize Trent, and there's no agendas. I keep it consistent. The way I say for Cancelo.
So you think the same about Trent as well?
Yes,
that's fair.
You cannot call yourself a fullback / defender if you cannot defend.
Modern day.
Traditionally, let's be honest.
But it's not tradition. It's not tradition now.
Traditionally, a fullback is meant to defend. If that's the basics. If you cannot defend, what world class? Okay,
who's the best teams in the world?
Yes,
Who's the best teams in the world? Let's mention the best teams in the world. Their fullbacks are more known for their attacking abilities.
I totally understand that, but the number one thing, the main thing is to defend. Is to defend.
I don't know, man. I'm ready to argue with that. I mean, I don't know what Bilal and Zoop think of that.
It's clear, for Pep, it's clearly not, because he's got Cancelo wearing the number 7.
He plays this inverted fullback bullshit.
He's there to attack.
He plays this inverted fullback bullshit that makes us vulnerable. Okay, so majority of the time it pays off, but there are some instances where it doesn't work. Like, I'm sick of seeing this inverted fullback bullshit.
But you're about to win the league for 4 times out of 5 or 3 times out.
No. I don't know. I'm taking it a game at a time. I'm not getting it carried away, because there have been. It looks like majority of the time we look like Haaland FC, to be quite honest, because we can't seem to finish. It's either a KDB masterclass or a Haaland masterclass.
You are definitely the Man City Zuberi. You are definitely the Man City Zuberi. Yo,
I can't stop laughing, because this is some of his views. I'm not making no.
Look, I get fans, City fans that I sometimes even interact with, and and they don't even know me that well, but I sometimes interact with them. One guy, Blue, with the heart, he's calling me a clown. Fair enough.
Don't worry about the comments. Don't worry about
Don't
the
worry
comments.
about the comments,
man.
bro. You
Yeah,
keep
don't worry
going.
about the comments.
You talk about
You
us.
say what you think, bro.
We have to have the same sheep opinion per fan base. So if you're a Liverpool fan, you have to have no criticism towards Klopp. So
I hear you.
basically the Anfield rap and the Redman TV complex, or the
Yeah, but
TV complex.
Let's not call out any platform because they're.
I'm a
Let
City
me
fan.
ask you a question.
That's Dargies.
I know, but they're my friends in it, so they're my associates. They're my friends.
This conversation, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about the fullbacks and the way you see football, kind of similar to me. I would give you that. Trent, people say, oh, he spam passes, and you know some of them come off, and we give him his assist praise and all that good stuff. It's there in the record books. Cancelo is so versatile as a player, not as a defender. We're not going on that one aspect. So they both lack defensive attributes. I'll give you that. Trent with the crosses, left foot, right foot, very dynamic in the way he passes the ball and a vision for play, right? But Cancelo surely has his thing going where he can be left back, right back, midfield, left wing, right wing. I mean, the guy's all over the place. Like Bilal says, he wear the number 7. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about prime Milner at fullback. Milner just never knew he could have did that at fullback. So are you just coming at him strongly on the defensive piece or as a footballer? Because as a footballer, a lot of people say Cancelo is actually a
Defender.
footballer.
Just 1 second, I've just spotted a knob in the chat. I don't think only one person out of us is from London. That's your first thing. And if you're gonna only give us respect if you're local, get out of here. Can mods block him? What shall I do?
See, this is another City clown.
Yeah, they're just trolls. They're just trolls. You just block, move on, ignore. Keep speaking.
I need Man City to stay. They should stay only as their local area.
To Manchester, it's not my fault.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I know how to handle people bums like that. I'm here. The community man's here. Fear not. But
Guys, I have a
listen,
question. I have a question for Abdullah. Just want to ask him
Go ahead.
about one man in particular, because we always talk about Cancelo. I know he's got the
Yeah,
headlines
yeah.
today, but there's one guy who I want to talk about, and his name is called Jack Grealish. What's happening?
I'm a
What's
big
your opinion
Jack
on this
Grealish
guy?
hater. I am a massive.
oh shit! Can we find a fan of who you're a fan of?
Do you know why? Do you know why?
Fair enough, Bilal.
Do you know what's ruining the league? Do you know what's ruining the league? It is an homegrown quota. And I saw an article from the Athletic, which
Go on.
they're contemplating about scrapping homegrown quota, aka the King Charlie tax, aka the Queen Lizzie tax. Shout out to Have Hope. You know Have Hope.
No, I can't say I do.
I don't know him, but I've seen the stuff.
Oh yes, I went over there. Jamal from Capish is over there.
He was on Never a Foul with you, I think. I'm not really sure.
With me?
Yeah, I'm sure. Because I saw him in the title.
Okay.
He says, like, with all these English talents being overhyped and stuff like that, it's the Queen Lizzie tax or the Queen Charlie tax now because it's King Charles I. And I don't see. I go hard on the English players because in our team this season because they've been a liability. Walker's been a liability. Stones has been a liability. Foden has a beginning of the 3 games where he wasn't passing to Haaland. I was furious and I said, and I was a reactionary. I'll be honest. Drop him because he's not passing to Haaland. I think I've always said this about the English players. They are always about me, self-centered. That's why England have never performed and gotten to won a major trophy in the modern day. That's why I said about the old generation in terms of the Scholes, Lampard, and Gerrard. They were very selfish, always wanting the spotlight. And I feel like it's the culture of this ever since the 2000s, where it's always about me. This is why they'll never win a major tournament, in my opinion.
So can I ask what you think of KDB today?
Exceptional. He's been one of the greats, and could end up at top 5 minimum. And like Chelsea fans must be beating themselves. They must be beating themselves. Seeing Salah
Kevin De Bruyne today was a one-man wrecking machine. Like 10 men. He was right wing, left wing, popping up in the middle, making third man runs. The set pieces was on point. His shots, everything. That guy is the difference maker, isn't he, Bilal?
It is and it isn't,
he's a
because
joke, man.
the most exceptional seasons is where he hasn't been available. If you remember,
Oh shit.
Jesus. Right.
it's true.
Oh shit. Just when we thought we got a winner here,
No,
he's just
no,
shot on KDB as well.
I respect him. But who have been monumental? KDB was unavailable. He got an major injury in 17-18, the 100-point season. He got another major injury in the 18-19 season.
Facts.
And the 2021. It was Bernardo and what's it, Gundogan. Those 3 seasons that I mentioned, who were carrying the team.
No, we're gonna have to ask you the real questions now, man. Who are you?
Him some real questions, man.
No, I respect KDB.
Who are your real City players?
He will finish our greatest ever player. He will finish our greatest ever player. I generally believe that. Better than Conor
Aguero?
Yeah, at this rate, he will finish.
I think. Do you think it depends on, or do you think he surpassed Aguero right now? Do you think he surpassed Aguero? Oh, he hasn't surpassed Aguero yet.
Not yet. If the next 2 seasons he doesn't suddenly decline, then you can't argue with it.
Interesting. Guys, what do you think? From the outside, guys, what do we think? Bilal, Zoobs, what are we saying? Are we saying, just give us 2 minutes, Abdullah, yeah? Like before you hit us with some next sledgehammer of an opinion. Bilal and Zoobs, what do we think about KDB and the greatest ever, it's Aguero or him, right?
Well, for me, you know, my opinion on Aguero is mad. I'm not Abdullah, man. I've got a mad one on Aguero. I didn't rate him as much as other people rated him. That's all I'm going to say. Like, I think there's so many Premier League strikers that I can name that I prefer over Aguero. I know the goal to win in the league against QPR. I know the goals he scored year in, year out. But for me, there's just something about Aguero that I just did not rate. I don't know. There's like the Luis Suarez. You know, when the Luis Suarez at Liverpool, like, I don't feel like Aguero's ever on that kind of smoke. You know what I mean? The Thierry Henrys of course. Even the likes of Harry Kane, I prefer him. Even Fernando Torres. I'm telling you, there's loads of strikers that I prefer above Aguero. That's just my opinion.
No, you cannot mention that human tree trunk. You cannot mention that.
I'm sorry, Aguero for me. Listen, in terms of my top 5 City players right now, it's probably like your De Bruyne's, your David Silva's, Yaya Toure, Vincent Kompany. You know, that's 4. And then, of course, you can maybe slap an Aguero, maybe number 5. But
controversial, maybe.
Yeah, for me, I rate all those other guys above.
Sorry, that clownness and shamelessness DNA of Arsenal
is coming through.
Nah, bro, Van Persie's are better than Aguero. Like, there's so many strikers I can name in terms of just Premier League players. I played in the Premier League who, for me, I prefer them as strikers. The Michael Owens, man.
It's preference.
Yeah, just have to say it.
Yeah,
okay.
So many,
and that's fine. That's fine. We can respect it. We can disagree. Yeah.
Zooms, what are you saying? Let's keep it moving. What are you saying?
With Bilal, man, is Aguero for me is one of the deadliest things ever touched the Prem. I'm not even gonna front. Aguero is on another level. Like, he'll miss a month, you know, and still pick up like golden boot or just do the madness. Aguero was being pushed out of a team and said, "Nah, man, Jesus, you got a whole bench. If this is what the manager want," Aguero was the first striker to go Super Saiyan for me, because everybody thought he was done, and he was like, "Nah, another gear, and another year," and he just kept upgrading this thing, man. He was a dangerous striker, you know. And as far as rating him in the City team and the folklore, as striker, he's gonna be in there. But as like overall player, who had a bigger impact, when you're talking about your Silvas, your Agueros, and your KDB, and you should pick one out of that to put up there, I think the midfielders will always take that shine over Aguero. Unfortunately, just because of the impact they had, because Aguero wouldn't be Aguero without some of their artistry. You understand what I'm saying? Because Aguero was on a lot of what they did. You know, Silva spinning in between 5 guys and then do a little nice no-look pass to Aguero. Aguero eats that up. You can say, okay, Aguero got the goal, but it was a Silva masterclass that got him that. A De Bruyne just no-look outside the foot, some crazy pass from that half space. Aguero gets in on the end of that. So a lot of City striker might comes down as tap-in merchant. That's what they're in the team to do. But the assist will get more love than that tap-in. So like I keep mentioning the KDB pass to Haaland over Joey's head. Haaland scores that. We're not really lauding Haaland for tucking that away. We're lauding the pass. So I think that's the type of caliber of player where you have those midfielders, bro. They're always going to outshine the striker because all he has to do is just put in the back of them. They have to do the hard work. So KDB for me, I disagree when you're talking about your best season is when he's out, bro. The best moments of him isn't on a whole season. It's about what he does when he's back. It's about what he does when he's back. So yeah, you missed him for the month, and credit to Gundogan for stepping up in those moments when he's out. I'd love to get your opinion on that player, but KDB for me, man, when he's there, bro, he's literally the only guy I can see grabbing your team by the neck and making.
He would have. I tell you this: if it wasn't for bums like, I'm sorry, but they were bums like, he would have broken the assist record in terms of he would have actually not be far behind Ryan Giggs.
He's talking about your guy, Jesus.
Yes, and let's get onto him. I need to get onto him.
Final point. Go on. Go make your
final
point.
Final point, and I'll leave. And thank you for having me. No problem. Warned you, Arsenal fans, and I see you getting onto him, and I don't blame you. I warned you. What was the last time he scored? How many games has he gone off?
I think like 7 games ago or something like that.
And I told people, and the Arsenal fans said, no. You disrespected Jesus. Oh, you treated him like a side man. You treated him like a second striker. That's what he is. He is a right winger / second striker. He's never been that guy. If it wasn't for him and that bum, that snake, and Grizz, you know that snake, Raheem Sterling, yeah, he would have broken the assist record. He would not be far behind Ryan Giggs. If it was like KDB has helped careers.
But that's always going to be the thing with midfielders, because I could say the same thing about Mesut Ozil and how he should have broken the assist record in one season, but then he's got the likes of Giroud missing like.
Well, he created those.
He didn't want to score. Yeah, so you can always say that about midfielders. The Jesus thing for me, he's an excellent footballer. He's an unbelievable footballer.
Yeah.
What he does on the ball is crazy. The way he drags people, the way he dribbles past people is unbelievable. It's by the time he gets to finish, I think a lot of the time he's just tired, man. And the shots is toe punt. Yeah, it's. But I think he's doing a lot in the game. He's getting the assists.
Link up play.
Even I've criticized him. He needs to score. He needs to score as well, because if Arsenal are going to win the league, you need the striker to score at least more than 20 goals.
Yeah, like your Osimhen's. I think Osimhen could be a good one, or Vlahovic.
Osimhen, he's so like I said today. He reminds me of Danny Welbeck. Like Danny Welbeck was a mad athlete, dead baller. Let's be honest. Like technically, he wasn't that good, but Osimhen's got that. But he's got the finishing, which is a lot better than Welbeck has ever had, really. So for me, Osimhen's a problem. I can see him going probably Man United or something like that. To be honest, and he would be an absolute weapon in that kind of team.
Fair enough, Abdullah. Thanks very much, man.
Thanks so much, Grizz.
It's amazing as usual, man. Hope to speak to you very soon, man. Good luck, man.
Anytime. Great.
Nice
to
meet
you, Barry, and nice to see you again.
Love you.
All right, man. Big up, man. Always.
So I'm talking about people. The world is full of varying, different variety of opinions. We have to embrace it all. We have to. It's mad. That was brilliant. I mean, look, we didn't agree with some of his opinions. He didn't agree with ours, but I enjoyed that chat, man. I enjoyed that chat. I know. I see you. I know why you loving it. He's so much the city you.
Yeah, he is, man, because what I like about football fans, I don't like when they're all blinded like BILAL, just star days, You have to take a step back sometimes. And like he said, he know what Jesus always was, the DNA. But a lot of Arsenal man was like, nah, best thing since sliced bread. But like he said, it's your team. You should be able to criticize your team, whether they're doing good or not. I heard Klopp saying something in his interview. I still think Klopp is only talking to me when he answers his question.
I agree. I think he's only talking to you.
Yeah, like he's saying, Zabir, it's hard to talk about problems in a win because everybody's like, oh, we won, but in a lose, it's easy to explain why we lost. But when we win, it's hard to explain what could be done better, especially if you're coming out of it 6-0. Again, but like, what should we improve? We won by 6-0. There are things in there. There was moments in there that you can critique, work on, improve on. Because I keep going back to the Community Shield. We won that 3-1, and I'm like, Grizz, there's a lot of things we need to address. You're like, no, we're fine. So I like when fans come in and they're not just like star-dazed and, head over heels with the football, talking about Tierney is better than Robbo. That was an argument that wound me up a couple years ago.
This is Scotland fans saying it, man. Not even me. Like, please relax. Scotland fans are saying this. It's not me.
So I like
listen.
when fans do that.
Listen, our studio is pretty much full now. We got Jezza next. Natraj, please try to remember your order. Jezza, Natraj, Jamie, and Atul. Athul, my brother. I'm sorry if I butchered the accent. They're the next guys. Guys, make your points very quick. We're running out of time now.
Wait, guys, quick before we go on.
Yeah.
Who do you think's better, Van Persie or Aguero? Because for me, it's not even a debate, man.
What do you mean it's not a debate? What do you mean it's not a debate?
Van Persie's a better striker than
There's
Aguero.
A debate there, Bilal. There is a debate there.
All right, who do you think is better? This is for you guys. I already have my opinion. I think
Bilal, I'm not even going to make it long. I said you need to hear from people that's not starstruck or stargazed.
I hate Van Persie. No, I hate Van Persie. Like, Van Persie done me dirty, bro. I hate this guy. But I think he's a better striker than Aguero. I don't know.
No, that sounds like a toxic relationship you have with Van Persie because he left you, man. But listen, it's a debate, and it's a good debate. It is a good debate.
I think it's a debate, man. But let's get the next caller in, man. Jez is in the building. Yes, Jez, I hope you're doing very well, my friend.
Yes, my guys. How are you guys? Are you guys well? Hope everything's well. Family's well.
Blessings, we're good, man. Everything is blessed, my bro. Hope you do. Hope you are too, man. We've been having some fiery the debates and the chats today.
I've been here the whole time. I know they've been really, really good. They've been really good.
Quality.
No, that's
bring some more quality to the table, bro. Don't be that guy that just lowers the quality. Bring some more quality to the table.
Never. Bilal, why are you smiling? Why are you smiling so much? Tomorrow's a big game, you know. Tomorrow's a big game.
Maybe for you.
Tomorrow's a big game,
man. Your season's gonna end tomorrow, man. What's going on? Potter, man. You might get sacked, man. I'm hearing Chelsea fans saying Tuchel needs to come back. Tuchel's gone to India. He's recovering. He's getting ready to come back to Chelsea.
Why has he gone to India?
I have no idea. I think he's relaxing and just like doing some spirit.
Can I give a conspiracy on the whole India thing? I think it's because when the takeover happened with Abramovich, he was apparently going through some personal issues, a divorce, if I'm not mistaken. And so he's got like a new Brazilian young girlfriend I saw on Twitter, stuff like that. Okay. He looks like he's going through a midlife crisis, you know, because at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, after spending so much money and finally getting a little bit of control, being sacked like that, I mean, nobody saw it coming. But I wanted to speak about Potter in the game tomorrow, to be honest with you.
Go for it, man. The floor is yours. Give me 2 minutes, guys. Keep going. I'm back.
No worries.
2 minutes. All right.
Zubi, Bilal, what do you guys think of Potter's tenure so far? Because I never watched much of Brighton. I've always been open about this. So I'm not one of these guys that's going to come here and be like, he had Brighton playing one way, and now he's going to come and bring that to Chelsea. Because against Brighton last week, he started with obviously the 5 at the back, but the wing backs were actual wingers. Mm-hmm. Now, for me, I don't mind him playing one of the wing backs as a winger, and the other one as an out-and-out fullback. But playing both as wingers, you can get away with it at Brighton and you lose the game. Nobody's going to check. Nobody's going to be. But at Chelsea, every single team selection, every single decision you make, obviously all eyes are on you. And I keep going back to this Man United game that we just had before the Brighton game. It reminded me of a Jose performance in terms of, obviously we were on the back foot in the beginning, and then after being on the back foot, he makes an early change and we kind of make a comeback, and then we take the lead against the run of play. But then because he got it wrong in the beginning, he didn't leave himself a substitution, because best believe when Jorginho scores that penalty, if Jose Mourinho is the manager, if I just think back in time, Kurt Zuma's warming up, Gary Cahill's as a defender is warming up with one sub left, you know. So I think tomorrow he's got to get it right. I don't know. What do you guys make of Potter so far? 1 defeat, so I'm not too much on him.
Listen, Potter's a good manager. Like, if you look at the way Brighton play, it's so fluid. We talk about Man City and how they know how to interchange positions all the time and they understand what they're doing. But Brighton, especially under Potter, and you can see what Brighton are doing now, it's ingrained in them what they're doing for their team and the way they scout their players. It's mad. This Matoma kid that's coming to Brighton now, £3 million from the J League, and you're seeing him just light up the Premier League. And technically, how good their players are, intelligent. You know, it's going to take a while, maybe for Chelsea to get on that level. Of course, Chelsea have better players, so they're going to end up finishing higher than Brighton. But to actually play the football and then get the results as well at the same time, that's going to take time. Because, of course, one defeat, it looks good on paper, but when you actually watch Chelsea play, you can see, like, this is not Potter's team yet. So it's just going to take a while. It's probably going to take January and the summer transfer window, and that's if, you know, the board give him patience, which we believe they will because of the contract they've given him, because of the changes they've made upstairs. And Todd Bowley, you see, I'm reading articles saying that they want a youthful team, blah blah blah, long-term project. So Chelsea are changing, but it will take some time to see real Potter ball at Stamford Bridge, man.
My take on Potter is small team tax. It happens to a lot of managers, had a smaller team doing their
David
things.
Moyes.
Yeah, David Moore. I always go to him. I didn't want to compare him to Potter because I don't think he's of that caliber. But even with players, they have that small team tax where they're doing good in the environment they're in, and it doesn't quite translate, whether immediately or ever when they go to a big team like a Maguire. I don't think what he was doing for Leicester, if he was even doing that at Leicester, I don't know what he was doing at Leicester, translate to Man U. Same thing with Moyes going from Everton to Manchester United. Certain things just don't translate. And I think that's why Arsenal never went in for Eddie Howe. They're like, yo, he's a small team. Can he do it on the big stage? You know, for Pata, I think that's the case. So the big question for me is, do you see your board giving him the time he needs to get comfortable? Because it's also about being comfortable. You know, it's like driving a car. When you first go in there behind the wheel, you're a little nervous. You're looking at the mirrors. There's a lot going on. But the moment you get comfortable, you're not rolling a split with your knee on the steering wheel. So are you guys going to give him that time to get that comfortable where he can drive the car with the seat all the way back? You know, driving the car with the knees, taking a piss at the same time in traffic? We don't know. And that's not something Chelsea normally do. Is this the guy to do it with? I mean, he's proven he has some good philosophies and some good tactics and in-game management. But this is his moment to shine as well. So if you're saying he only had one loss, that's something to hang his hat on. But if that means you guys are slowly going to drop out the top four because of a bunch of draws, that's also not good, you know? So it's all about the direction of the club and where the fan base sees this guy. And can he really grab that dressing room by the neck? Because a lot of players in that dressing room would have won more trophies than him, I think. I don't know what trophy Potter has on his belt. I don't even know if he was a player. That's how much I don't know. He did mold Brighton. I would say he molded Brighton into something good, and it's even continuing after him. So he needs time, and if you guys don't give him the time, I think you guys will be a negative mark on his resume, and it's not going to do him any justice. So as for right now, I'd love for you guys to give him 5 years and let him just stagnate and not quite grab.
Of course you would.
Yeah, so you know,
you guys are doing that Arteta thing with Potter now, where you're like, though we could see the progress, like because you would give him 5 years because you don't see him as a threat.
right.
You understand? If Ancelotti became our manager, you wouldn't be saying that you want to see him there for the next 3, 4, 5 years because he would be a threat, and rightly so that he's not a threat. For me, on the board and the patience thing, let me tell you where I stand with it. The way I see it is the group of players that he has are not a bad bunch of players. Do you understand? So this whole pity party of, he's finally got his opportunity, he's earned his stripes. Like, okay, congratulations and well done to you, you know, but now you're managing our football club, you know. Like, we need results and we need to win. Now, I'm not expecting him to win the league. Just for me, I feel like we obviously need to retain Champions League football. Now, when Tuchel got sacked and we just lost to Zagreb, you know, I had like one of these visions, and I was like, okay, if we're going to keep playing how we're going to play, we're going to fall into the Europa League and then win the Europa League because we've only been in it twice and won it twice. Understand? So even if we saw one of the Premier League teams, I think when you look at Man United and you look at Arsenal, I think if we were to get to a cup final with one of those teams, I think our team has got so much experience. We won the Champions League the other day, and the group of players, all the youth players that we have, they've all played in FA Cup finals and League Cup finals.
But your record in FA Cup recently have been terrible. Sorry to butt in, but yeah, the Chelsea's record in the Wembley especially has been shocking. I think you've lost like four finals in a row or something like that.
Chelsea's record in all finals has been terrible since we lost Drogba, to be completely honest. We haven't been convincing in finals. Since we kind of lost Drogba and then Hazard would carry us, like when we beat you 4-2 in the Europa final, then Hazard would normally grab the game by the scruff of the neck. But right now, we don't have any match winners. I think I got that take from Saeed. We don't have any match winners at all. So I just wanted to pick my team for tomorrow, Grizz, now that you're back, and see what you think about it. I've seen a lot of Chelsea players. I don't really care about the formation too much. Whether he plays, I would like to see the diamond that he played against Man United when he made the change. You know, but I think if these 11 players are on the pitch, I'd go Mendy, Silva, Chalobah, Koulibaly, Cucurella, all at the back. I think if we see Aspie against Martinelli, like
I need that.
I don't need that at all. My blood pressure doesn't need that, bro. My blood pressure doesn't need that. Like, Aspie's been a great servant to the club, and I get why Tuchel kept him. But now, every time we lose Reece James, which seems to be like a every season kind of thing now, similar to Harry Kane with his ankles, we're going to need to buy a right back. But the problem is, how do we bring a right back in when they know they're going to be sick and fiddle to Reece James? So, anyway, moving on. Midfield, maybe Kovacic, Jorginho, Mount, Havertz just in front of them, and then Sterling and Oba. Sterling off the right-ish and Oba off the left. Split strikers. I think that could cause Arsenal a little bit of problems, especially if we could get... Sterling hasn't been great, but with his pace, London derby, I mean, he said he wanted to move to London so he could play in games like this, you know, being from London. So I expect him to turn up. Aubameyang, after the promo that he did on BT Sport and all the talk, the Didier Drogba co-sign on Twitter, he has to perform. No choice but to perform tomorrow. But have you guys seen Chelsea's next 3 fixtures?
No, not really. Don't really bother us, really. I don't know. Go on.
We got Arsenal Sunday, Man City Wednesday, Newcastle last game before the World Cup. How do you like that?
Yeah, but Man City's a league. Yeah, but Man City's a league game. It's a cup game. Sorry, who cares about that? It's a league Carabao Cup, right?
I care, Grizz. I care because I would like to win something. Yeah, I'm trying to leave with something. You know,
they're gonna play their reserve team, man. You should be strong in that one. Your reserves are stronger than theirs.
I think we need to go strong in that.
Big call.
I think Potter needs to look at one of the domestic cups and actually try and see if he can. Because that's what Arteta did to get time.
So here's my take. I've heard you guys speaking for a good 15 minutes. Here's my take. I think you need to focus on tomorrow. I think it's a huge game for Potter. I think the honeymoon period he's had a nice little 5-6 games. Is it 5-6 games? To have a
longer than the 10 games. 10 games.
Really? Oh, yeah. Shit.
1-9 last one.
The games are coming so fast. And you had like a 2-week break at the beginning as well, I believe.
I didn't know that. Yeah. I completely slipped my mind. So you got 10 games, and now he needs to focus. Now he needs to pick his strongest team tomorrow. Because you're playing the league leaders, and it's Arsenal, and all the controversy and the competition that comes alongside it. Tomorrow's a very serious game. I'm telling you that for Chelsea. And I think you guys can avoid defeat tomorrow.
I also have a feeling that we won't lose tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it may be a draw, but I don't think he will lose. And I think right now you'll have to accept that. And that's coming from, I don't know, man. Chelsea not used to being in this position with Arsenal, man. You guys are the top dogs usually, and then it's Arsenal that come and upset the party or whatever it is. Arsenal always managed to get a result against you guys, where you guys are the big boys of recent times. But it could. That's what I'm saying. Tomorrow could be pivotal in that sort of who's the top dogs in London right now. You understand? So right now it's Arsenal.
Ooh, I wouldn't take it that far.
Show me
They're still
why.
playing on Thursdays.
Yeah, but I'm talking about this
Relax.
season right now. Yeah, but what I'm saying is this season they're clear of you. I don't know, Bilal, if you want to come back on something. I'm just backing your team here.
No,
right
I
now.
agree.
don't
I
need to
agree with
make-
what you say. Yeah. No, I agree with what you're saying. Of course, Arsenal are a bigger club than Chelsea anyway to start with, and then Arsenal right now are going in a much better direction than Chelsea. Chelsea still, as we keep saying, the direction of Chelsea's football club has changed. It's not the Chelsea that we've known for the last 20 years. The ownership has changed, the direction, the way the team thinks, the way the team's operating is completely different. It's not the same. So it could take a while for Chelsea to really, come back and really be a force in terms of winning the Premier League again or something like that. Because when's the last time Chelsea won the Premier League? I think 26 Conte time. That was, for Chelsea standards, that's a while ago, And now with the new owners, it could take a little bit longer to actually get Chelsea back to where they believe they should be. So for me, I look at the game tomorrow and I just see that Arsenal are definitely favourites going into that game. And that's true. Like Arsenal going to Chelsea away, I don't remember a time Arsenal being favourites going to Stamford Bridge, I don't remember really a time Arsenal being favourites going away to Chelsea. You always feel like Chelsea at home should do something against Arsenal. But even in recent games, Arsenal seem to be getting the upper hand, against Chelsea. But this time, I've been speaking to Chelsea fans. I think a lot of them kind of feel confident because the roles have kind of flipped. They're the ones coming in with underdog, less pressure, and then maybe they can spoil the party.
I'm gonna keep it moving because I just looked at the time and we've got about 7-8 people still looking to come in. Before you go, I'm gonna have Zoobs have the final say on this. None of you lot are allowed to have your say on this.
And I just want to get a Bilal prediction, Grizz, as well.
Okay, go on, give your prediction first.
What, for the game? Oh, scoreline 2-0 Arsenal. That's what I'll go.
Clean sheet, yeah?
We've been keeping clean sheets away from home for some reason. I think away from home we've been doing pretty well. So yeah, hopefully it continues.
What's your prediction?
No. I don't want your prediction. I want to ask you something else. Jezza, what's your prediction for the score?
I'll say 2-1 Chelsea with my heart, but 2-2. 2-2 with my head.
Okay. Zoobs, I want you to be the judge and the executioner in this debate that I've been having on a different platform as well with someone. Who's the bigger club right now? Chelsea or Arsenal? You can give context if you want. If you want to keep it moving.
Arsenal. Here's why I'm picking Arsenal. Chelsea were the big guys. They went to the gym every day. They swole up, but they pulled a muscle. And they had to go to the hospital. They had to get a surgery. So they're going back into the gym. They're getting rehabilitated. They're not quite back yet. Where Arsenal, young petite guy on form. So Arsenal are firing right now. Chelsea's in rehab, coming out of rehab, learning to throw punches again. So who's bigger right now? It's the guy that's been punching up people all season, top of the table. So I'm going Arsenal. I'm going Arsenal in this moment. But legacy-wise, we can have a debate, who's playing on Thursday and who's playing on Wednesday. But in this moment, yeah, Chelsea are the underdog. They coming back from rehab. They pulled a muscle.
No, but I'm talking about when I say right now, I hope you understood the question. Used to still can't buy in. I'm sorry, you're just bystanders right now. When I ask you who's the bigger club, I'm talking who's the bigger club. Like not who's on top right now. We know Arsenal's on top right now. Are you okay? Maybe I'm trying to play with your brain. Are you saying 2 times Champions League winners Chelsea? How many league titles in the last God knows how long? Are we still talking history about Arsenal and legacy and all of that?
No. So now I understand your question. Now I understand. It's always going to be Chelsea, and that's why I use the analogy. They're the big guys in the gym.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were the big guys in the gym, but they pulled up, and they had to go to the hospital, and they had to get surgery. So are they still big in this moment? No. But what I'm trying to say, yeah, Chelsea is bigger than Arsenal all day, every day. I mean, Jezza said it. We've seen it. Arsenal playing on Thursday. No European Cup. So, you know what I mean? Arsenal talks has to be minimum at best. In this moment, they have to be careful how far they stick their head out. Because they like just saying, they're playing on Thursday.
This is why I wanted to keep it moving. This is it. No comebacks. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe in a different chat you can come back with something. But Arsenal and Chelsea, yeah, that's why judge, executioner, and jury.
Arsenal are the bigger club, though. I'll just get that in.
No, we out of here. You're not allowed to say shit. Take care. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Look after yourself.
Cheers, Grizz. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Wicked. All right. Guys, that's why I wanted you to have the final call. You know what I mean? Even if you hurt a lot of people and said the mad analogies, you're on mute. You're on mute. What did you say? Okay, do you think?
I'm sorry. What was that?
I said this is why I wanted you to be the executioner, the judge, and the jury, man.
Yeah, no, I'll always be here for it. You know, I'm a little rattled by Jezza's last comment. It says Arsenal are bigger than Chelsea. I can't see it.
He knows ball, man. He knows ball.
He knows ball.
It's not, bro. Zoom, come to London, man. You know who's a bigger club. It's not even close,
bro. What I'm
Arsenal
trying to understand
much
is
bigger club than like Chelsea.
Are we talking about who's the bigger club, footballing wise, style of play, consistency? Are we talking trophy? What are we really talking? Because when you said
I know the Champions League will always be a stain on Arsenal's name not winning a Champions League. That'll always be a big problem for Arsenal until they win one. But apart from that, just little black mark of the Champions League, which is a big black mark. Don't get me wrong. Arsenal are way bigger in every component compared to Chelsea. But it's your opinion.
Every component except Europe. So now you have to say the except. See, Arsenal needs to learn how to talk about their club. You have to say except Europe, and then I can be like, you're right. When you say every component and just leave it there, you'll always leave it.
Yeah, no. I already said the black mark about Champions League. Of course, it's a big problem. Like we need that Champions League trophy, 100%.
Listen. Let's just leave it here and keep it moving. Both are tier 2. You understand? Both are tier 2. Yeah. Both are tier 2. But let's get. We got Natraj, Jamie, and Mika. Next, that's the set. I'm gonna decide if we got anything after that, people. Let's go. We got Natraj in the chat. Welcome to the chat, my friend. How are you?
Hello, guys. Good. Hope you guys are doing well this weekend. Big games for all of you guys. For us, it's relatively quiet. It's Aston Villa. Let's see what happens. But man,
I think that's a big game as well for you guys. You guys need to.
Here's the thing. One thing for sure, they're not going to beat us.
No, Man United.
That's a given.
Oh, Man United. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so they're not going to beat us. So that's a given. So moving that aside.
Okay. Good. Good evening. Mr. Good evening is there. He
he can be there. But guess what? Klopp was also there at Liverpool. So, Arteta was there at Arsenal. It didn't go well for them.
Fair enough.
So, but I want to just start off by saying, man, Martinez, what a signing. Okay. 24 years old, absolutely changed the defense. We literally didn't sign anybody else in the back, and that same back line considered the most, other than of course Dalo is playing more consistently now, but like that back line consisted the most goals that we have ever conceded in a league season last season. He completely switched that up. Last 10, I just checked the stats. Last 10 games, we are second in the table in terms of points collected. So Arsenal and Man City are joint first, 25 points out of the last 10 games. I'm not counting the game today. After that, it's Man United, 23 points out of 10 games. So we are definitely. I think it's been almost close to 800 minutes since we have conceded a goal from open play. So so it's just credit to Ten Hag. The fact that he came into such a chaotic club, like let's face it. There is absolutely no other manager position that is bigger and more stressful than being a Man United manager. Press loves to write negative shit about us. People like to talk shit about us online. It gets more clicks, more views. Any single leak that's possible is going to get talked about for years. Like it's going to be at least 56 years before people stop talking about Cristiano Ronaldo leaving at the end of the game against Tottenham. So the pressure is on. Ten Hag just eats pressure for breakfast. And same is with Martinez. He does not care. He didn't care about Salah. He didn't care about Nunes. He didn't care about anyone. Certainly, Nunes did not play in that game. But he didn't care about Gabriel Jesus. That man, I absolutely love.
He had a horrid game. He had a horrid game against Gabriel Jesus. I know you didn't concede, but he had a
That's the end goal. See, this is the same argument that people use about Torres and Vidic. Oh, Torres used to absolutely skin Vidic. How many goals did we concede? How many times did he actually score? You Torres? Can do all the tricks. Torres against, that's the point. Torres might do tricks and flashes and get past Vidic. He never scored that much. He
Torres
barely
scored.
scored. Look at his
That great kick,
look at his
Torres.
record. Look at
Uh-huh.
his record. But man, that was like the fact that it took Ten Hag only 3 months to basically make United one of the toughest teams to beat in the country. Testament to him. Long may it continue. Of course, now we are clearly seeing problems up front. Like last night, we needed to win by 2 goals against Real Sociedad. We couldn't. We only won by 1-0. But then again, no Anthony, no Sancho, no Rashford. So there were issues clearly. But like
Why no Anthony? Why no Sancho? Why no Rashford?
Anthony's injured. Rashford is Anthony was injured. Sancho was ill, and Rashford had a slight muscle issue. So
Okay.
so just
It's
for
not. It's
precautionary
not. It's
measures, we
not.
didn't play.
It's not because Sancho has been a huge flop for 80
No,
million
no,
pounds.
no,
No.
no, no. I don't think he has been. Me personally, I think he has been playing. He's been underwhelming, no doubt. But I also
Mhm.
think he's just 21. Like he's just 22. And the first season he had in Manchester United was one of the worst seasons Man United had since 1989. Like points wise, just purely points wise, we haven't had that low of a point tally in almost 2 decades, more than 2 decades actually. So can't really blame the guy if he's still feeling unsettled. Not to mention, on top of that, he didn't get the England call up. There can be some mental issues going in, but I hope he'll fix up. But like the point I wanted to make is, I worry about Bruno. Bruno might Bruno might get sold at the rate he is going if he doesn't fix up, because Bruno Ten Hag has a very definite system. He has certain expectations from players. Bruno plays very emotionally to his detriment. He has a
Mhm.
great engine. Like if you see stats, he creates some of the most chances. I think he creates the most chances out of midfield right now, more than Kevin De Bruyne, more than anybody else. But at the same time, his decision making sometimes is so poor, and we lose the ball in such crucial moments that if he doesn't fix up and he doesn't adapt to Ten Hag's style, Ten Hag might either bench him and like bench him to the point where he says, "Okay, I want to leave." If we end up signing Frankie De Jong and we play Frankie De Jong and Christian Eriksen in the like as a midfield too with Casemiro behind them, where does Bruno fit in then?
Interesting. So look, let's have a bit of a roundup about some of the points you make. Absolutely. First and foremost, people already know that I don't like I sometimes have banter with other clubs fans, but I'd like to think I try to speak fairly about most clubs. And you're right. First and foremost has to be you have to respect the job Ten Hag has done. He came into a
Absolutely.
mess, attitudes, egos, positional sense, positional issues in terms of roles of players. Some of the players that you've mentioned, even the likes of Shaw and Maguire, all of that scenario, he's done very, very well. Absolutely, he has. Um, and in terms of Martinez, I think Martinez so far has been. I think Martinez after the first couple of games, because against Brighton and against Brentford and against one other game, he was pretty much
Man City.
abysmal. Man City, he was abysmal, but that was part of the team. The team wasn't functioning. The team was host. Team was nervous. Set up wrong. Ten Hag came in early. Since then, he's been magnificent. Anyone who denies that is delusional. He's been aggressive. He's been an inspiration to the players around him. He's got that. He reminds me a lot of Zubs. He reminds me a lot of Mascherano. Do you remember Javier Mascherano for us? He was a warrior. He's like that at all costs. He's got a lot of that about him. I think it's too early to say he's done and dusted. That's it. We found our centre back. He's going to be a success because this league is punishing, very punishing. And yeah, while he's done very well right now, I think some of his hardest tests will come when Man United do have to open up and play a different brand of football, which you eventually will. At the moment, Ten Hag's got you playing on the counter attack, as much as you can, and stiffen it up in front of him in terms of Casemiro, McTominay. He's got playing in a total different light. So he's stiffened up the people in front of him, and he's got you organized and structured. De Gea is still saving you. De Gea is making a lot of saves still on a weekly basis. So it's not.
Not
It's not.
really.
No. Okay,
No,
the games
I
I've
mean,
seen, the games I've seen, and I haven't
yeah,
seen every single game, so
of
I
course.
accept that. But a lot of the games I've seen, De Gea is making save after save after save. But regardless, if that's your opinion, that you've seen the best of Martinez and you're very, very satisfied going forward, then that's up to you. I think this league is very punishing. I think there has been incidents in games where you think Man United have just come over the top. For example, tomorrow will be a very, very crucial test. It looks like on paper, it looks like a very simple game, but it's going to be interesting because you're going to have to take the game to them. You're going to have to take the game to them. And I don't know if Man United are still ready to take the game to the opposition. You've done very well, absolutely. And no one can deny the job Ten Hag's done. But I think there's a long, long way to go. I think you think that's fair. I don't know if you want Zub's opinion on that as well before you
Yeah,
want to come
sure,
back in.
absolutely.
Grizz, I agree with 104% of what you said there. The extra 4%, if you're wondering, comes from this league. See, it's easy to come in this league like a Leicester with something we haven't seen, and it looks amazing, but it's not something sustainable to hang your hat on. If you want proof, look to Liverpool. What we did with the false nine and Bobby Firmino, no one has ever saw that before. And the way we executed it caught people out to the point where we look unplayable at times. Defenders didn't know what to do with us. So what Grizz is saying about Mascherano and your little, what is he, 5'6", 5'8" in there?
He's
You look
5'9".
like-
Yeah,
Oh,
because it's not like anybody has mentioned his height before.
I mean, yeah, but so I don't know what it is. He might not be 5'9", he looks a little
But
short.
he is.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say is the fight he's bringing for you, man, no other team has seen Man U fight like that. Remember when you guys signed Maguire? I'm not saying it was my first time talking to you. A lot of people are saying, nah, this guy rivals VVD. And we knew in our hearts he did. But the way you guys
We did as well. Every Man United fan knew not only we overpaid for no reason, he's not the player who's going to take us forward. Like everybody knew, but that's the thing, right? Back then we had different CEO, we had Ed Woodward making all the calls, we had no structure, we had nobody taking care of the football side of things. A banker was literally making recruitment decisions. Like, how do you think was that going to go?
Okay,
So there is that aspect.
Like it went.
Yeah, exactly.
So on that point, let me ask you this now, because a lot of my friends are Man U fan, and they never talk about on the field. They'll always say, "Yo, the backroom staff things, the backroom staff." So are you saying in this moment with Ten Hag, are you saying you guys finally got the right people in the back room to make positive change on the field? And is that kind of the mold? Because you're waving Ten Hag's flag very high, but I don't like how you're waving the little 5'9" defender guy, because he's new to the league. No one expects Man U defenders to fight that way. So he's gonna have probably his best season this season. Next season, when people figure him out and figure out his style of play, they're gonna figure out how to do him in, man. I don't think he's up the level to keep it fresh and consistent for 3-4 years in this league. This league is unforgiving. So I don't know if you agree with that point, but that's how.
Sure. So let me just give a little bit factoid on why I believe that Martinez is that guy. First of all, like I said, we are incredibly hard to beat right now. Second, out of the 11 or 12 teams we have played so far, I think 8 or 9 of them are right now in the top 10, or they have been in the top 10. So like we played all our big games. We played the Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Tottenham, Newcastle. We played all of our big teams. West Ham, you name it, we have played them. And we are still where we are. Despite that, in the last, like our first 2 games were against lower, like below the table side. We lost those 2, but since then, outside of the Man City pumping, we have been unbeaten.
So basically, so far, so let's just break it down step by step. So what you've suggested is you've struggled against the lower teams and you've done well against the better teams, apart from Man City. So you've had the tougher games. You are where you are, which is where
we are right now 5th, I think.
5th. How many points above Liverpool? Let's just use Liverpool as an example.
Okay, sure. I think we are right now 7, 8 points.
So you're about 7 points above Liverpool. You're saying you've had a magnificent run. Yeah, you've played all your tough teams, but you've struggled against lower teams. Now it suggests your next set of fixtures are going to be against lower teams, which not only you've struggled this season, but you struggled last season against lower teams. So Continue.
It's So to give a little bit more points, first two games, of course, we struggled. We didn't play our best. The plan that we had going in from preseason was completely based on Martial playing up front. Martial got injured, and then we had Ronaldo up front, or we had Rashford up front. So basically, we didn't have that traditional number 9 that we needed. On top of that, Casemiro hadn't played yet. So now, once Casemiro got embedded into the team and he's playing week in, week out against big teams, small teams, intense teams, doesn't matter. He's been the absolute rock of a defensive midfielder. And because of that reason, that I'm saying that, okay, this team is much more certain. Now we know exactly what the team might look like. If Varane was fit right now, I wouldn't even be worried about Aston Villa. Like I would sleep throughout the game. Because Varane and Martinez defensive partnership right now is the best Man United had since like in the past decade. Since like 2013, we lost the partnership of Vidic and Rio. Yeah, since then we hadn't had any partnership like that. So it's been 10 years since we have the decent defensive partnership.
Let me ask you a
And
question.
as per
Let him finish. Sorry, so let him finish.
yeah. So just to address Zubairi's point, I'm a big believer that the environment that the club provide, it makes or breaks a player. If Liverpool did not have the environment of Jurgen Klopp and the coaching staff that they keep providing players, whether it's through technical coaching, whether it's through training, like fine, Liverpool fans can right now sit here and say, okay, FSG is now starting to act a little bit like the traditional American owner of an English football team now. The investments are drying up, the recruitment is looking a bit wonky, but players don't care, right? Players have been performing at the top level until last season. This season you have had some hiccups, but you're also embedding way too many new players with a big age gap, etc. The bunch of reasons. But the environment that players get from the coach and the coaching staff, that is what makes or breaks a player. And Ten Hag is providing that kind of environment. First of all, he's consistent. It doesn't matter if you are a young academy player who is missing 2 meetings, whether you're Cristiano Ronaldo, whether you're club captain. If you did something he doesn't like, you are getting benched or you're not playing. He is consistent across the board. He doesn't have any favorites. He doesn't play favorites with his players. It's all about, I am demanding these, you deliver me these, you play. It's very simple with him. That is the reason why I feel like Ten Hag is the right man. That is why I'm feeling positive about the club going forward, because now the environment is right for the play. Even Rashford has said when he came out after the West Ham game that now the energy around the club is so different. It is so much better right now. Last year was absolutely toxic and chaotic. Now that whole structure is gone, Ten Hag structure is there. Players are learning their roles. Shaw is playing much better. Dalot is now literally a first-team fullback, and I would argue that he would play a first-team fullback for most top clubs, given his qualities both offensively and defensively. Martinez would easily walk into most teams as a centre back. Maybe not as the first, like he wouldn't replace Van Dijk, but he would be the best partner Van Dijk can have right now. Given that Van Dijk is not that mobile, he's not going for that tackling, that aggressive approach. Martinez would do that for him. So like he would have benefited. You can call Chelsea, you can call Arsenal, anybody. Like Arsenal also, right? Saliba, sure, fans hype him up right now way over the top, but that's their choice. But like Gabriel is sus. Like imagine a Saliba's partnership with Martinez. Like one has the pace, one has the technicality to fizz out passes and the aggression and the tackles. Like that's what I mean. Like we are now moving in the right direction in terms of every department. So I'm happy.
I think you have every right to be. First and foremost, I think you have every right to be positive. You have every right to be happy from where you was. Let's just say, I don't know, 6 months ago, maybe even. No, less than that. 3-4 months. Start the season from where you've come and from where you are now. You're absolutely every right to be buoyant, positive, and happy. So the points that you've made are very, very relevant. Every team's fans will have that extra vote for their player and for their point. That's natural. Yeah. So when you say Lisandro Martinez is one of the best centre-backs you can play in any top 4 team. I think you said top 6 team. You're going to say that because, that's your team, that's your guy.
But would you disagree that he would walk into Liverpool team right now as Van Dijk's partner?
Me personally, no, because Ibrahima Konate, I don't think there's many young, better centre-backs in world football, young centre-backs than Ibrahima Konate. I think Joe Matip is one of the most underrated centre-backs of the last 5-6 years.
But again, he's not reliable. He's not available.
But that's a different story. Of course, if you want, I don't know how reliable Martinez. He's only played 6 games for you, 10 games maybe. I don't know, 10.
No, he has played 20 games and he has played every game.
The sample size is nothing compared to. There's no sample size yet. But from what you've seen, is absolutely you're entitled to have that opinion. But very quickly before we want, Bilal, would you take Lisandro Martinez over Gabriel right now? Because I think that's more of a comparison. I think even Natraj, if he thinks about it, Konate and Matip are some great centre-backs he's mentioned there. But Gabriel is a more comparative example.
Listen, I think Gabriel, I wouldn't replace Martinez with Gabriel for that left centre-back position, because if you watch Gabriel play, he is aggressive. Yes, he can make one big error a game, which is happening maybe more frequently because of the way Arsenal's team seems to be evolving and everyone seems to be way more technically secure than just last season. But ever since Gabriel's walked into Arsenal, he's been probably the best and most consistent defender ever since he's walked through the doors. And for me, his stature, his recovery pace, the balls he actually plays, if you actually watch him, I know he looks funny sometimes when he has the ball, but he pings all the time those, balls to Bukayo Saka, for example. He loves that switch. He's got that in his locker. And if you've watched the last few games for Arsenal, he saved Saliba's backside quite a few times. If you're keeping
Saliba sometimes needs his backside saving because he failed the Rashford test massively.
Well, that was just one game, I guess. But Saliba, he's a top talent. Of course, he's going to make mistakes. But for me, if Lisandro Martinez, I would take him, but I would probably play him left back at Arsenal. That's where I'd like to play him more long term. Because on the ball, Lisandro Martinez is fantastic. His line breaking passes are brilliant. If he played in that inverted role where Zinchenko plays or Tomiyasu plays recently, he'd be good there.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the information.
Just to bring up. Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Riveri.
Yeah, because you guys are coming in heavy with the in the moment tax charge right now. In the moment, you guys are very in the moment. You said something key. You haven't seen something like this in your defense for almost 10 years or going to 10 years.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. De Gea has been the only consistent thing in there, holding up a lot of these defenders you're even backing.
Yeah, but that's because we have been playing the right way for him.
Let him finish his point, and not Raj.
Yeah, sure. Sorry.
So when you're talking about, I understand in the moment the charge in the moment is valid. Not gonna knock you, but you're using this in the moment to project long term. I don't see it. Even Arsenal, this run they're on long term. I'm telling you, it's 2 bad decisions away from going belly up. I would never rate Gabriel the way Bilal rate Gabriel. Martinez, even if he has a great season, I'm only gonna judge him next season. Like I said, it's easy to come in and do a madness when you first come through the door. Remember when Bruno first came in January? People was lauding Bruno, like talking this high praise about how he's dragging a team, he's carrying a team. And right now you're saying Bruno needs to go. It can be like this for your Martinez.
No. I didn't say that. Just to be clear, I didn't say that. I said that if he doesn't adapt to the Ten Hag system on time, he might get replaced, especially if we buy someone like Frankie and Christian Eriksen.
But Zuberi's point is projections. These are all projections.
Sure.
If right now you're 5th and you're saying that you've had an amazing run, your words, one of the hardest teams to beat in the Premier League, your words, you've played a lot of hard games, yet you've struggled against lower block teams that play a low block and hit you on the counter, and physical teams. Brentford played a very physical game against you guys. City, that's an anomaly. Okay, let's just assume your record last season. I think the next batch of 10 games, I know with World Cup is coming, but after the World Cup, your next batch of 10 games should be far easier on paper, according to what you said, according to the fixture. I haven't been really paying attention, naturally, because my team has been shit, so I haven't been looking at the table. So, but according to you, you've had a very tough run of fixtures.
We had the toughest run of fixtures in the league.
So now you should have
just based on position of teams.
So now your next 10 fixtures should be far easier.
Yeah.
We're going to speak again, not in
Of
10
course.
weeks, obviously again, and we will reassess. I think
Of
you're in
course.
a good. I think
United
you're in a
have always
very-
been good against big teams. They've always
I
have
think-
been good.
I think you're in a good space. I think my only suspicion, or maybe I'm not sure about, is when you have to start dictating the game. All these big teams you've played in a Ten Hag way, which is very, very. I mean, Arsenal, had a lot of the ball. Liverpool had a lot of the ball. Man City had a lot of the ball. Chelsea had a lot of the ball, in the second half. I think your litmus test will be in the next 10 games. And if you are still, well, not fifth, because you don't want to be fifth after another 10 games. But when you're speaking about your team, you have to get in the Champions League this season.
I hope
Am I
so.
correct?
I'm not sure. I would say it's very much possible that this season
You can't be sure
United
after saying what you've just said about your team.
The league doesn't just work for one team, right? I'm saying it's very much possible that we play very well throughout this, because let's face it, this is Ten Hag's first season. You guys had Klopp for 7 years. Arsenal had Arteta for 3 years. I'm talking about everybody else, right? Man City had Pep forever. Arsenal had Arteta for 3 years. Liverpool had Klopp for 7 years. Only team that is a bit like who is relatively new is Chelsea with Potter. But again, Chelsea has ridiculous squad depth. We are talking about a team who, we had to buy 5 first-team starters. We literally bought 5 first-team starters in one window. Next window, there is a possibility we will lose 11 players from our squad, and it's not. I'm not even joking.
Sure, but what I'm trying to say is everything that you've just said now. Slightly contradicts what you've just said in your openings 2 statements.
Right,
I let you make 2 main statements.
Yeah.
So you've just now said that everything is settled under Ten Hag. He's done a fantastic job so far. I love the way we've got the best centre-back partnership in years. Rashford wants to stay. Some other points that you made in terms of you're so confident. But when I asked you, you must finish top 4 then. After spending 200 million, after spending 200 million last season, after spending another extra amount, I don't know how many this season. I don't even know how many. You tell me how much millions you spent.
I think this summer we spent 200 million.
So let's just say circa 400 to 500 million pound you're spending, and yet you're still saying, after the conversation we've had of 20 minutes or so, you're saying, I'm not sure because other teams.
Yeah, no, because see, what have I said from the beginning? Our team is now one of the hardest to beat in the league. That does not translate to our team win every game 3-0, 4-0, 5-0.
I don't want you to. I'm not asking that question. I'm saying,
but
are you
favorites?
Right? Are you favorites to get in the top 4 now? Amongst the 6, are you one of the favorites to get into the top 4?
Yes, because we win most of our games against big teams, and we are harder to beat by the smaller teams. And as for your point about, dominating possession, we dominated possession against Chelsea in the first half. We were absolutely fine. We dominated Tottenham from the start to finish. We dominated Leicester from start to finish. We dominated Southampton from start to finish. So these games we have had where teams have played lower block against us, and we have had sustained pressure over and over and over again, and we ultimately broke them through.
This is my point. You're speaking everything positive, except when I say to you, you should then, taking everything you've said into consideration, and you've said a lot, and rightly so, you need to speak on your team.
Of course.
You have to. So you've said everything that, except when I said that, so you're going to finish top 4, you said, I'm not sure. Because Liverpool are in the mud. Chelsea are in the mud. Spurs are not looking great. We've just shut on Arsenal. You said Arsenal XYZ. Newcastle, if you're gonna say, use the analogy you've used, then Newcastle are not in the picture because they're just an emerging club. You're an establishment. You've got the best manager you've had in the last 10 years. You're saying you've got the best partnership in centre back. You've got the best DM in the world, Casemiro, who's stepping you up. Exactly. So there's no argument. You should confidently say we're finishing top 4.
You finished half the team. That's the problem. Grizz, you stopped at half the team. We finally have a good centre-back partnership. We finally have a good DM. What we don't have is a number 10 who plays correctly in the Ten Hag system, which is why I said in the beginning, Bruno might get shipped. We are having issues up top because right now, okay, I don't know how long Sancho is going to be ill. Anthony is brand new to the team. Rashford is scoring a few goals, but not enough to we are not having a sustained run. Ronaldo is not scoring goals. Martial is injured. That's the thing.
You're going off.
Now you're making excuses.
Those
like
are two
every
different
team
things,
is going to
Chris.
make excuses.
No. See, saying my team is finally hard to beat is not the same as my team is going to win every
Answer
game.
the real question then, based on your facts. You're hard to beat. Are you invincible next season then? Because you're hard to beat in this moment.
No.
You didn't say hard to beat. You said
I'm
you're
not
the hardest.
interested in the invincible side. Yeah, that's only for Arsenal fans and their psychotic people.
No.
We don't care.
You got to be
No,
invincible.
you said, hold on 1 second. You said you're the hardest team to beat in the Premier League.
Right now, yes, because our defensive record has been fantastic for the first.
So based on what? The last 5 games?
No, based on the last 10 games. Actually, based on last 12 games across all competitions.
So
that's
what
the
is
point.
stopping? Okay, so check this out. So on the last 10, 12 games, you are the hardest team to beat, and you've played the top teams. Your next 10 games, logically, will be far weaker than the 10 games you played. You're already the hardest team to beat.
At the moment,
you're already the hardest team to beat.
The next 10.
No. You didn't say one of the. You said you are the
hardest.
I did
say. I have always said we are one of the hardest teams to beat in the league. Grace,
the next
don't
10,
do this to me.
No, I'm not doing nothing. I'm right here. Rewind the tapes. So the next 10 games, you're not going to get beaten because you already played the best teams.
I feel confident. Yes.
No, let me finish. So you've already played the hard teams and you've avoided defeat. 10 games.
Yes.
Your next 10 games, you will remain unbeaten. That will take us up to how many games played?
22.
If we're 22 games and you've remained unbeaten for 20 games, my God, you should be favorites for the top 4. You should say it with your chest. I don't know where this suddenly. I don't know where suddenly you start talking about other teams. They might be good. They might be good. And then you said, let me finish. And then when we questioned you on that, this is all chronological order. I'm not swaying. I'm going in order. Then when we questioned you on that, you started saying, but Bruno. I'm saying if Bruno plays in the right play in the position in 10, if Rashford scores more goals, if Sancho starts being more output merchant, then you start doing ifs and buts. I don't get it.
Okay, now let me break down all of them and finally give you the reason why I'm not sure where we end up. First of all, let's face it, this is the weirdest Premier League season because we have a World Cup in the middle of a season. Now, international duties usually mean that we have no idea how the players are going to come back. So that's a big question mark for me. And I think that's a big question mark for every team. So outside of teams maybe like Wolves or say West Ham or like lower league teams whose players are not going on international duty, who might have an advantage of their players getting rest and train, those games might actually turn out to be harder than we actually know. That's the first point. That's the first. That's what I said. I'm not. Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I?
I tell you why.
I know ball, Grizz.
I tell you why. I'm glad you acknowledge that. Yeah. Because your assertion that playing the 10 games that you've just played, right, against good teams, is a forecaster for the remainder of the season. I found bewildering.
I think the probability is better. I think how we have gone in games before, like especially last season, where even if we are if you are playing Leicester, we are nervous. If you are playing Southampton, we are nervous. If you are playing Tottenham, we are definitely nervous. If you're playing Arsenal, we are nervous because last season was so poor. Now we are at a point where if we go into games like, okay, we should definitely get something out of the game, right?
Absolutely.
And if we are facing somebody who's clearly like on paper is not as good as us and who might play low block, we definitely expect at least we might be able to grind out a 1-0 win because that's what we have done against low blocks this season. We score first. Then they come out to play, and then we keep trying to hit them on the counter. Then they go back to low block, and then they just try to wait it out.
So that's what's been happening. I must admit, we've got 7 minutes and 4 guests to go through. It's been brilliant chatting to you. Really enjoyed it.
I hope Liverpool's demise continues, and I hope Arsenal falls off a cliff. All right, guys.
Listen,
fun.
thanks very
Talk to you
much.
later.
Have fun. Take care, my friend.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Brilliant call. Brilliant call.
Listen.
I love it. Listen, this is what it's
Nah.
about, man. Let me just go through a couple of super chats we need to call out before we get to the next caller. AFC Max sends in a super chat. He goes, "Hey, Grizz, big you up and the rest of the big six. One of my favorite LFC fans ever. Humbled, bro. Thank you very much. Appreciate the love and support. Can I ask you a quick question? Are all Liverpool fans rooting for Arsenal to win the Premier League over Man City? Question mark. And do LFC recover this season? Liverpool will recover this season. That's the first answer.
As it pertains to the other one, I'm split because I want Arteta to win it, but I can't bear Arsenal fans in Arsenal.
Are you going to be like the Man United fans? Look what I saw. Look what I saw today. Let me show you guys. This is what I saw today. This monstrosity from Man United fans. They've posted this. I don't know if you can see that.
No. You know what I think it is?
Yeah, it is.
Is that the City thing inside the...
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
This is what Man United fans
Get
are
that
doing
off
now.
our screens, man. That's ridiculous, embarrassing. Shout out FC Max. Thank you very much for the super chat. And yeah, man, I want Arsenal to win it over Man City. I'm gonna come out with it. I'm gonna say that's my opinion. But obviously, as people know, my son's an Arsenal fan, so it stays in the family that way.
For
That's
the greater good of the Premier League, man, we need a different win. I don't even care who it is at this point, man. We just need something different.
LL Lad on loan to Bayern wants to know what midfielders Liverpool are looking for. Why? When you're on loan to Bayern, bro?
He's trying to get Lima one way or another, man. One way or another, he's getting
because Grizz, what midfielders are Liverpool looking for in Jan? But you're on loan to Bayern, bro. Why are you concerned about Liverpool?
He's with money.
I'm
Man.
gonna
It's
be
okay.
real.
Grizz,
Aneda says, will Rashford leave for free in a year if his salary doesn't match with Sancho, 350k? United will go broke in the next 2 seasons if they don't make top 4. Bro, they got loans coming out of their asses left, right, and center. I'm telling you, Champions League is an imperative for them. Shaq, shout out Shaq, man. He says, good luck, Grizz, against my team, Bangladesh T20. Big up yourself, man. Yeah, look, Pakistan and Liverpool have let me down in the last couple of weeks, man. You know what I mean? I'm at an all-time low when it comes to football and cricket right now, but big up yourself, Shaq, man, every time. Ella Lad says, Grizz, I might have to extend my loan if we don't. Listen, you do you, bro. What are you saying, Zeus?
Or on loan, you know.
Yeah, well, you know.
Not that one guy.
It's the new age, man. It's the new age. What can you do, man?
A lot of fans are on loan this season, you know.
What can I say, bro? It makes me smile. But Man United, brother, they had chest, bro. Man United, this is what happens.
That's what pissed me off. I love when fans have, you know, I got chest.
No, but he had chest, man. He whimpered at the end because that's how I press people, innit? You know me, I'm a presser, bro. Come on. Not everyone can handle my press. But I thought he handled it well, though.
Nah, me and you put the pressure on him. BILAL, let me ask you a question. You're in a good moment. Like Manu, he's saying they're in a good moment. Good moment. Keyword moment. But if you're telling me, BILAL, he came in and said we're the hardest team to beat. That sounds like invincible next season.
Yeah, now listen, the way I watch Man United,
football, Grizz, you're gonna say we're gonna win the league.
Yeah, you're with Man United. The Ten Hag tried to play his football the first few games, got battered. He went and now has created a team that plays solid, like mid-block. They're tough to beat, and it's similar to. That's why I don't know if you guys watched that Man United Newcastle game. It ended in a draw. Like that was a result I was expecting because these two teams kind of play in a similar way. They're tough to beat. They've got some pace on the attack, and maybe they can go that way. Man United have not even reached what Ten Hag wants to do yet. This is literally just the beginning of him just trying to get results.
Listen, I can't listen. At the end of the day, I'd love to banter Man United to hell and back, but fair play to him, man. He's right. At the moment, they are where they are, and they're doing well. But let's just see how it goes for the next 10 games, innit? Because I know my brother's going to be back. If he ain't, I'm going to hunt him down. I didn't catch his socials, man. I need to hunt him down because, you know, we know how this story ends, man.
Nah, he's in grave, man. Not Raj. I'm on to you, yo.
Yeah, man. We're going to find that, Raj, man. We're going to find that. Listen, we're so close to 250. But I don't operate like this. I want 300 likes. I'm not looking at 250. So let's just smash out 300 likes ASAP, like now. And then we can wrap up this show. This show has been, I'm not even going to lie. This show's been lit today. I'm telling you. The chat and the fire and the debate has been sick. We've got a couple of callers still left to go. That's what I'm saying, innit? That's what I'm saying. Even the Forest fans are coming for my head, man. Grizz, dead team you support, but salam. Yeah, man, big up yourself every time. Our team's not dead, bro. We're just injured. We're just hurting a little bit. We ain't dead, you know. I'm telling you. Don't go anywhere.
You see,
That's all
Klopp.
I'm
He's got
saying.
He's got that freedom of the city now. You know, he's looking good
Yeah.
wearing suits and that. Listen,
Okay,
I'm watching. I'm watching.
I'm watching. Bilal's watching as well. Let's get Jamie in the stream, man. After Jamie, it's Amika, and then Football Powerhouse. I see you, but I don't know if we're gonna have time. But I see you, bro. I'm gonna try to fit as many as I can. Jamie, welcome to the stream, my friend.
Hi, mate. You're right.
Hey,
Not too bad, man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm all right. Till I had headache listening to the United fan. It's just
Hey, come on! It's a festival. You know, the call-in show on Saturdays is a festival for everyone to come in and speak on their teams, man.
I don't get the United stuff. I don't get it. Right? They spent
on.
400 million in 2 seasons, yeah, and they're talking about the greatest team in the world, but the 5th. But why aren't they doing what Arsenal's doing this season? Right? Ten Hag is a quality manager, but let's face it, he came to a Man United team that weren't a bad squad. They were just badly coached for a few years, but they weren't a bad squad. It was probably a better squad than what Arteta came to Arsenal in, right? And Arteta's doing what with Arsenal now? Yeah, he spent money. So these Man United fans just need to chill a bit, man. Just chill a bit. Hard to beat. You're 5th. And you got smashed by 6-3 by Man City. You know, it's not. I mean, they just got to chill out a little bit. They literally just got to chill out a little bit. And yeah, when you got players like David De Gea and Paul Pogba and Ronaldo and people like that, Bruno Fernandes and Sancho and all that in your team, it's a good building base. That's a good building base. Then when you spend 250 million in summer, let's face it, these Man United fans should be fighting for it. They should be looking for a title challenge, not just trying to finish 4th. I think that's that's a negative for me. That's a negative for me. And
well, listen, at the end of the day, you know what it's like.
It's all talk. If they're not in the top 4, I'll tell you what, if they're not in the top 4 at the end of this season, I think United are in trouble.
I tried to squeeze it out of him, but you know what I mean? He wouldn't say it, but I think I got him in the end. I think he said it. I'm very confident. So here's what it is. But what did you want to speak about, bro?
So let's just talk about. I've got a few things, but I just want to quickly talk about Liverpool for a second. So
we haven't had any Liverpool chat today, have we, lads?
Oh, here we go. Roll your sleeves up.
We had Huss come on.
Oh yeah, Huss came on. Yeah,
roll your sleeves up then. So so Liverpool obviously need a midfielder. We know this is the truth. Yeah, we might have 10 midfielders on our books, but what, 3 of them are good enough?
We haven't even got 10 now.
We've got 9 or whatever it is. We got. If I look at it, I'll probably keep Thiago and Harvey Elliott out of everyone at the moment, and maybe Hendo, and that'd be it. I think. I think we've been like, we need a midfielder in January, but we need a midfielder that knows the Premier League straight away. So I think we should buy from the Premier League this January. We need a player that comes in and just goes straight away. We can't afford to go and buy a player from a German league, Spanish league, or Italian league to come in January and expect them just to go straight away. In this team at the moment is in a bit of a transitional state at this moment in time. So I think we need a player in January that comes from the Premier League, can slot into that right-sided midfield area, and staying fit can keep us going. Because what I think Klopp wants, not a lot of Liverpool fans agree with me on this, but what I think Klopp wants is younger version of Henderson, a younger version of Thiago, and a younger version of Fabinho. I know a lot of Liverpool fans want all these attacking 9s and 8s and 10s in our midfield or whatever, but I don't think that's what Klopp wants. I think Klopp thinks his system still works when he's got the right 3 in the midfield. And we have never had a world-class midfield in the Klopp era, in really, like for player. You know, we won the Champions League and Premier League and was arguably the best team in Europe at that time. We with midfielders like Milner, Wijnaldum, Hendo, Fabinho. They're all working class, like working midfielders. They're the engine of our team, and they control games of football. And no one ever really got on our back 4. No one really got them. No, our back 4 was never exposed for 2 years straight because that midfield controlled games of football. They counter-pressed. They pressed when they needed to. They hurried oppositions. They got the ball back quickly, and they just gave it. No tricks, no flicks, no trying to drive at teams. You get the ball back, you give it, and you go, and you keep pressing. And at the moment in time, Klopp's midfield can't do that because, unfortunately, like with everyone, age catches up with you. It's just a thing in life, unfortunately. And what's happened is we got maybe too many of them on our books right now without not getting rid of them, because I think there is players. I think every team needs to keep veterans in their side. Like Alex Ferguson didn't get rid of Ryan Giggs. You know, he brought Paul Scholes back out from retirement. You know, you can have veteran players in your team. I think Jordan Henderson's probably a stayer in this Liverpool side. But the likes of next season, I think Milner will probably either have to go into a coaching role or move on. And, you know, Ox will have to move on. Kate will have to move on, because unfortunately, people might think they're decent footballers, but if you're injured constantly, Klopp can't rely on them. So he needs bodies for his midfield. So we've got to replenish that. And we've got to get someone this January that plays in the Premier League for me, knows the league already, and can just slot into this midfield in January and go. I don't know what you guys feel with
that. Go on, guys. Let you have your say first. BILAL, from an outsider's point of view, Premier League proven. Is there such a thing? Do you agree with it?
Yeah, you know, Premier League proven is. I can't understand why fans would want a Premier League proven player in, but I think it's all about the profile of the player. If you look at the profile of the player and you think this kid can come in, or this guy can come in and just do a job for us, he fits the model that we're trying to use, then go for him. Even if he plays in the French league, he plays in the Bundesliga, because at the end of the day, a lot of these other European leagues, especially let's say Ligue 1 and the Bundesliga, they're breeding grounds for a lot of talents, man, a lot of young players. And a physical league, let's say that Youssoufa Fofana, we always talk about him from Monaco, right? If you watch French football, it's a physical league. It's not like it's a soft league. This is a physical league when you watch them play. So someone like him could do a job at Liverpool if you got him in, for example. So it doesn't necessarily have to be someone from the Premier League. Of course, we have a couple players who could do a job, maybe like the Caicedos. We talk about him. He could do a job. But there's not, I don't know, in the Premier League, the value of the players, probably too much, in my opinion, for the quality that you get when you can go abroad and look at the players that come in from the Portuguese league. How many of them have just become instant successes in the Premier League?
Look at this lad. Super City suggests Paulinho from Fulham.
Someone like him, yeah.
Paulinho.
What I'm saying is, though, I agree with your point about that by other leagues and all that. Yeah. But I mean, in the situation Liverpool find
we're in right now,
we can't. I don't think we can afford to get someone in and let them mould into the league quickly. I think we need someone that. But we need to get someone. Look, the whole thing with Liverpool, and I think Klopp's right. I know a lot of people come out for Klopp on this, but I do think you need the right player. I don't think you can just go and buy any player. Pep Guardiola has all the wealth he needs at Manchester City, but he still only goes for the right player that can suit his system. Otherwise, that player's not right for him. Jack Grealish might be the one he's made a mistake with. Klopp's the same. He plays a certain system and a certain way of playing, so he needs a certain player for that system. So it is difficult for Liverpool to find a player that will come in. That's why, because we haven't got the money at City, so the recruitment that way is a bit harder. Also, the way Klopp wants to play, you have to identify that player correctly and make sure you get the business done correctly. Now, it's difficult, but Liverpool, for me, have to get someone from this league in the midfield.
Who would you like to see from this league?
I'd like Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice reminds me of a young Hendo in a way. And as I said, I think that's what Klopp feels. He wants younger versions of what he's already got, in my opinion.
Subs, what are you saying?
I see what Jamie is saying, and I'm not sure if the way we operate as a club kind of made him come to that decision. I don't think it's a decision he's like 100% like that's his inner core, ID on it. I think it's the way FSG operate and Klopp operate is tainting that. And for that perspective, I'm gonna have to disagree. I don't want FSG putting a band-aid on this amputation. I don't want a quick fix. Go get the right guy. I don't care if it end up, scraping top 4 or dropping out. As long as I know the right guy, whether it's from Italy or Germany, I don't care where he's from. But I will not settle for just a Prem guy because he's in the Prem. Let's allow the Prem tax and let's just go out and get whoever it is that they've identified as the right guy going forward. Because you don't want to end up with another average guy just in and around the squad. I think the squad have too many of those players. Right now, we need nail-on certified guys in the team. On And when you go Prem proven guys, who are gonna get that guy from? What team is it? I don't think it's Caicedo, and it's no slight on him. I don't think it's the Fulham guy. There are guys in the Prem you can like, oh man, what about City guy, Calvin Phillips? I mean, he was looking a prospect, but a lot of these guys that we're looking at in the Prem in this moment to say Prem proven, it's tough. It's really is tough, and I don't want FSG going out and getting a Ward Prowse. Not he will come, just be like, oh, he's Prem proven, and then the other narrative of this would be he's not the guy to help us topple City or compete with Arsenal. I don't want that to be the narrative because the FSG smoke is just going to be blazing higher, and I like to defend them, and that won't help me defend them. So I want him to just go out in January and identify the right target. I don't care if it's a Prem, Germany, Italy, Portugal. I don't care where he's from, but I don't want to just use the Prem as that should be the criteria. You understand what I'm saying, Jamie?
Yeah, but there's there is what I'm trying to say is I agree. We have to identify players in the future. We always have to look a year or two advance and make sure we're getting our transfer deal sorted. But where we sit right now, look, Liverpool football fans are fickle people. Let's face it, we're all fickle people. There's no lies about that. But when I look at it, I see players that are not big names that work for us. Gini Wijnaldum from Newcastle. James Milner for Liverpool. Jordan Henderson. Adam Lallana. These players came into this Liverpool team and built what it is, and went on
at Everton,
and won Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues, and they weren't world-class names. And when I look at it, I don't think that's what we need. We don't always need that in a Klopp system and the way he wants to play. So if Liverpool went and got a Ward-Prowse, say, that everyone became mental, obviously. But I actually think Ward-Prowse is a decent footballer. He just plays in a team that don't suit him. Do you know what I mean? Because he can pass the ball. He can move the ball. But when he plays for Southampton, everyone plays behind him, so he can't show that ability. He's got ability. We aren't. Everyone wants the Barellas and the Bellinghams and all this of the world. That's all good, but do they fit a Klopp system all together? You got to look.
Ward-Prowse is actually good. No, Ward-Prowse actually, if you watch him for Southampton, the way he runs up and down the pitch is mad. He's got a lot of energy. But of course, it all depends on the price. If you get him for a real cut price, then you go for him. But if they start saying big money, then you got to move on.
Bilal, I'll get your point on this, and then I'll come to you, Grizz. Yeah. So me and Jamie, I think, if I remember correctly, we like a Fred in this cap system, Bilal, what you saying about?
Wait, pardon, what did you say?
Fred.
Fred, what do you mean? Fred
from United. Me and Jamie rate him.
What you want him?
No, someone like him. I think they're saying.
Someone like Fred. Okay, Fred in particular is such a weird player. One day he's looks good, next day he can't control the ball. He's a weird player. But the energy, if you mean terms of the energy getting up and down the pitch, let's say left foot up and down. Yeah, it's a very kind of unique profile. That kind of player would be good. For Liverpool. Liverpool need to go back to that 4-3-3 proper formation and play it week in, week out. But you can only do that when you get the midfielders in. And that's when Liverpool will come back and go up the league again.
Exactly. Liverpool, look, I see people in chat saying about pace and all that. I don't know if you need extreme pace in our midfield. Was Milner extremely quick? Was Hendo extremely quick? Fabinho's never been quick. Ronaldo weren't the quickest. But you just got to be mobile and agile. If you can be mobile and agile, you can get around the midfield. You don't have to be lightning fast. Sangara from PSV, I think he'd be a perfect Fabinho replacement. Because I don't know what we're going to do with Fabinho. I'm a bit worried about him, to be perfectly honest. Me and Grizz spoke this before. And I'm a bit worried for Fabinho. I don't know if this is just a thing that he's going through and he's going to come out of it and be the old Fabinho, but the problem is he's playing like this when he's 29 now. We need to now look, because of the way he's playing now in his age, we now need to look and go, right, we need a player to come in now that's going to replace Fabinho in a year or two. And then he's ready to go. So we need him in now to replace him in 12 months. So when he has to replace him, he's been in the team for a while and he can go and you can slowly transition Fabinho out. That's what Liverpool need to do. I do sometimes think we're too reactionary and live in the moment on transfers sometimes. And I don't know if we look ahead to the future a bit more. You know, when you know Milner, you gave Milner a year contract last season. That season, you probably should have been looking at it and gone, right, we might need a midfielder in now as well because he's going to leave next year and there's a space missing. So we could have that player in now, slowly transition him into the team. And then when Milner leaves, you know, he's ready-made. He's done. He's there. He's ready to go. But sometimes I think we're a bit reactionary at times. But that's my opinion anyway.
No, we always are. I think that's, as you said, fans are fickle. That's the first. Absolutely, I agree with that. But Jamie, as usual, made some brilliant points. Thanks very much for coming on, my man. And hope to speak to you very, very soon as usual. Look after yourself, my man.
And you, my man. And you. Enjoy it.
Take care.
Big up, man.
Nice
Take
one.
care. Have a good night.
Last caller, people. I'm sorry, Amika's the last caller. The rest of you guys, we out of here, man. We've done over 3 hours, man. Normally it's 3 hours only. Amika, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for being patient, my man. But you saw the chat was flying, man. Hope you're doing well.
I'm good, brother. Hope you're doing well. Big up Grizz, BILAL, Zuberi. Happy to see all of you. I know you guys have been on for like 3 hours, so I had some more stuff I wanted to say, but out of respect, you guys are working hard.
Go for it, man. Go for it. Let's see what we can do. Go for it. You've been patient.
The number one thing I have to say is just Ibu's home, man. Grizz, when I called last week, I said we need Ibu. Like, that's just the impact he has on Virgil too. That's what people don't talk about. Like, when he's in that back line, Virgil plays as if like I should be better than this kid, but he's on my toes. Like, if I slip, I could easily be the Gomez of this match, because chances are it's not going to be this kid that makes a mistake. He's going to make very few mistakes. He's going to do his job. It's not like when I'm playing with Gomez, and when Gomez does his inevitable mistake, I can throw up my hands like, oh, it's not my fault. I'm doing my job. Like, no, when you're playing.
Before I let you continue with every point that you want to make, do you know one thing I remember? I like the way you spoke about that, because I was just thinking and trying to think of an analogy, a real life analogy. And I'm not as good as Zuberi at real life analogies, but just very quickly, the top of my head came like you got brothers. So we know Matip, Gomez, Konate, Virgil. They're like 4 brothers. Yep. Like real life blood brothers. You can tell that they love each other. They've got respect for each other. But Konate and Virgil got that. Virgil knows he's the youngest brother, but he knows he's the one who's going to take on the mantle.
Yep.
You understand where I'm coming from? So he knows. So he knows
he's on his toes.
So
right?
he knows he's had great times with the second brother, Matip. They've done some great family things together. They've been out and about, and he knows Matip is one of those guys that he's getting a bit comfortable, and now and again he doesn't come to the family functions. You understand? He misses out sometimes. He makes excuses. Yeah. I got a bad back on my hamstring, because Matip's like that, right? Matip's like, oh man, I'm a little injured today, a little cramped today. Yeah. And he knows Gomez has been absent. Gomez is the brother that, let's use an analogy, he's been away for a little while. Yeah, Gomez has been way away. All right. Mm-hmm. So he's coming back, and Gomez before he went away was the top dog. But since he went away, he came back and he's not the same anymore. But I still love him because he's my brother, and I want to give him the chance because he's been away and his family, right? He spent some hard time away. They know Gomez, they know Konate has been watching the whole family, watching the brothers, and knowing that, I'm going to take over and I'm going to make this family name prosper. And I think Virgil feels like that when he's got King Konate next to him. He knows he's the new king. He's going to take over. Just like Prince Charles took over, he knows King Konate is taking over.
Yep.
I like
that.
I just thought about that analogy very quickly.
Wait, guys, before you move on, did you see what Van Dijk said about Jamie Carragher?
Yeah, I saw that.
You don't rate him.
I think it's real talk, though. I think it's real talk.
Would you disagree with it, though? With what he said? I disagree.
Well, in terms of Matip and
I'm not on social, so
Konate,
I'm like in the dark. What was said?
basically he did some interview with Gary Neville, and he said like they were talking about Jamie Carragher. Is he better than the defenders at Liverpool right now, basically? And Van Dijk was like, no, not a chance. Like completely just rubbed him out. Like Carragher's like nothing compared to Ibu, Matip, and him. I don't think Joe Gomez, but I think he did mention Joe Gomez, but I don't think he. Let's leave Joe Gomez out of this. But Ibu and Matip, yeah, he was saying clear of Carragher. But that's for Liverpool fans. That's for Liverpool fans, not for me.
I don't know. I don't think he said any. Like it was. I was surprised how like direct he was when he said it. Like
it could have been tongue. He's got that style though, innit, Virgil? It might be just the way he came across. Like,
yeah,
he just said it off.
No, I've seen other interviews. I saw the one he did with Rio Ferdinand. He was bare humble. He was like, "Nah, Rio, I'm not on your level yet. No." But with Carragher, he just rubbed him out. I was like, "Yo,
you're not in this
a different side of Virgil."
Yeah, it's like you're not in this conversation. It's okay. It's okay. We love you, Carragher, but you're not in this conversation.
Yeah, bro.
But
relax.
but I think on building on your point, Grizz, like just having Ibu back with Virgil is gonna allow us to do a lot of the stuff, even in terms of playing that 4-3-3, because we played it against Napoli, right? They're a team that's been scoring, doing their thing. So what I think Klopp just adjusted is he's still, just to make up for the midfield's legs, our high line was still a little bit further back that game. Like we weren't all the way up, but it's like now we're a bit further back with Virgil and Khanage there. So like anything over the top on Trent's side, like that's cleaned up. Like the guy's just so, like, it's crazy when I watch him. Like I just feel completely confident. Like
comfortable
coming here it's cleaned up, and it hurts me for him that he got hurt, because I think all this Saliba talk, it would be a lot more tame if Khanage was here the whole season. I think people would have seen everything that kind of maybe Liverpool fans that watch us every game saw last year. Like, I think that kid's going to be like one of the best center backs in the world if he stays healthy. So I'm quietly confident going into that Tottenham game. I don't want to say too much, but
be confident.
We'll see how the next Cardiff go, man. If I'm still smiling, but
Amika, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So you say you're confident about the Tottenham game, and rightly so, because Khanage is back. And I want to let you know that I appreciate you coming on the stream and raving about him, because in my LFC store cart is a Khanage kit. I'm getting a Khanage kit because I have the VVD kit already. I can't really wear it this season. As you're talking, and one of your biggest points is he's back. One of our biggest issues as Liverpool is when people come back, they usually don't stay back for very long. Like, we've never just had a mad squad for 10 games straight, not even 10 days straight.
That's
as
real.
Soon as the whole team is fit, 1 week later, 2 guys drop.
That's real.
So, do you think Ibu can stay till the rest of the season? Because that's, I think, would be one of his biggest criticism is, like Grizz says, he has some little issues here and there. He got to, go take care of that. So, VVD, it's good when he's around, but he always got something going on, like Grizz says, with the little brother energy. He always got something going on where, he's taking care of it. He's all over the place as far as being in and out of the team, being rotated a lot. Do you think he'll be back to where we can just have him in there and nail on, unless we're rotating for legs and rest? Do you think he can be that for the rest of the season?
So I think, to be fair, like, I think this would be the test of that. Like, in terms of what bucket we would have to, like, if we're being honest, put him in, I think now would be where I could make that assessment. Like, if he can be like, okay, I got this injury I had out of the way. If you can play, let's say, 80 or 90% of the remaining games and show me, like, just maybe little things where, just as you said, resting you're not really missing games, then I can say, okay, it looks like he can grow into the mold of what Virgil's been for us, where it's like, I'm literally there every game. But if we see him out of the lineup again, I would probably say, okay, injuries are probably something we're gonna have to manage with this player going forward. Like,
I think the World Cup is going to be huge, massive. I'm hoping he's not selected. That's first and foremost key.
Yeah.
That sounds so selfish. Like, come on, man. How can I say that? I shouldn't really say that. Is
Varane still injured? Is Varane still? I think he is, right? I haven't heard anything about Varane.
Grizz, I'll make you feel better. Everyone talk about the World Cup and players' values gonna go up. I'm the opposite. I want all these players that's not playing for Liverpool to go to the World Cup and stink it up so their price can drop.
Mhm.
That's what I want. I'm expecting some.
It happened with a lot of these English players, Zuberi. Just wait for it. Remember, I said it. A lot of this English tax, all that. Like a lot of these
It needs
guys.
to come down. It needs to come down, man.
It's not realistic, and I think a lot of like Brazil, when those teams come to play now, then I'll be watching England. Like now it's prime time. A lot of these players that got this hype, I think that World Cup's gonna humble a lot of guys. I think for England, unfortunately for us as Liverpool, the one that I think isn't gonna wither is Jude Bellingham. I think he's gonna just show in that World Cup like, yeah, like I really am that next guy.
He's moving levels right now. He's moving levels right now. Very quickly, Ibu and Saliba, you like that nice in it, Bilal. That is a nice partnership.
I think it'll be nice, but I think Deschamps is going to play three at the back. To be honest, that's what they've been playing for ages now. Every time I watch France, in a three at the back. So you could see a situation where I don't know if Lucas Hernandez is fit Bayern Munich, but it'll probably end up being a three at the back somehow.
Kunde,
so
they got Kunde as well.
Kunde,
I hope
Varane
Varane makes it, man. I hope Varane makes it, man.
Kimpembe,
I want
Upamecano,
Kimpembe.
Pavard. They have a lot of options. Like France is always stacked.
Hope he just turns a blind eye to Konate, man. Let him rest up, because January onwards, man, I need this brother, man. Yeah, I feel.
He needs
that rest. He needs that rest, to be honest. I wouldn't want him to go to the World Cup.
Do you know Konate makes me feel strong? No, I'm serious.
I know, man. I just feel so confident for tomorrow.
It's not even calm. Like I know he's young, he's got a mistake in him. Yeah, no problem, man. He's gonna make mistakes. He might even make one tomorrow. No problem. I'm not saying, you know what I mean. I just feel strong when I got Ibu on my side.
Yeah.
It's like a tug of war, innit? If I got Ibu, man, I'm winning this tug of war. You understand? I got Ibu and he's gonna be smiling through it.
Yeah, it's easy. I just do this. I'm just Ibu.
I'm gonna do this, man. I'm gonna lift this up.
Yeah, I just do this.
I'm gonna do this. So I love the guy, man. I love the kid. He's got so much to learn. He's got so much levels to reach. He's not the finished article. I'm not out here like the Man United fans saying that. You know what I mean? He's the Lisandro Martinez after 6 games is the best defensive partnership. Yeah, but for them it might be. That's fair enough, no problem. For them it might be, but for us, you know what I mean. He's got still levels to reach prime Virgil and Gomez, because that was ridiculous levels. He's got levels to reach prime Matip and Virgil. It was ridiculous. But the trajectory this guy's on. Bro, I keep talking about that Champions League final because I was there and I was hurt and I was crying at the end. But one thing I was noticed throughout the game, this guy locked up Vinicius and Benzema like no one else.
I'm like, both of them. Do that to him, there's no one in the Prem for the most part that rated at that level that's gonna give you that.
I'm telling you, I know Trent fucked up in the end and people come up, but every time Vinicius tried his stuff and Benzema tried to be outsmarting Ibu had both of them in both pockets. It was both. It was both of them. I mean, you can criticize Matip, Virgil, Trent. You can say Fabinho had a stinker, Thiago had a stinker, Hendo had a stinker. But my guy Ibu was the shining light, even in that final, man. And I felt so sorry for him, man, because that would have been a great start to his career. A great start to his career.
And again, Grizz, to my point, if we want to be honest as Liverpool fans, if we go back to that highlight of that goal, as I said, like Virgil, it's probably not going to be this kid that makes the mistake. Like to me, it was Virgil. That defending was questionable. I'd love to ask.
To me,
if I'm being, I have to be like fair. I'm very objective. That was just, I don't know what that is, man.
That defending is what he's been accused of a couple of times this season. Am I right, guys? Like in terms of not being proactive. Not proactive enough, not engaging enough. I don't know what you guys think.
Calm as you like. That's my guy. He's so calm. When he has to go from calm to intense, it doesn't really fire up immediately. It's not 0 to 60 in 0.001 second. It's getting into gear for Virgil lately. It's been a couple seconds too late. And I think that's where we're getting the full view of what his deficiencies are. And I'm not going over the top with Ibu. Like I said, his kid is in the card. at 5 this morning. I was drinking some Guinness, and I was like, is it because I'm up till 5 in the morning drinking Guinness I want to buy this kit? And a part of me goes, look, man, if he gets 2 more injury, you might have a injury-prone kit, you know, so you don't want a kit like that. So come on this stream, and I was going to tell you guys, because my 2 points I wanted to touch on was that, and I didn't want to say it till somebody mentioned it, and the second thing was with the World Cup. Would we go in for a player if they have a bad World Cup? Or we're going to use that to judge them, because the reason I'm asking this is people are going to use a good performance to raise the value. But if he's a good player, or someone is a good player before the World Cup and they have a bad World Cup, we're going to be like, yo, we don't want him because his World Cup stink.
I'd like to think, and at the moment I can't say with any confidence the way we're operating in the market for the last 2-3 windows. But previously,
Julian Woodall, is that what we're saying?
Yeah, no, man, hush up, innit? You worry about your recruitment, innit? But I'm saying, I'd like to think our plans are way more structured in advance than just basing it on a World Cup like Al Hadj Diouf style. Do you remember Al Hadj Diouf and Salif Diao? And then, man, we said, yeah, you know what? They had a nice World Cup. Let's have a bit of Al Hadj Diouf and Salif Diao. I think hopefully we're beyond that, and our plans are not based on the World Cup.
And that's fine back in the day. If you're buying players off a tournament like 15 years ago, whatever, let's say, yeah, that's all right, because analytics, scouting wasn't on the level that is now. If you're buying players off a World Cup in 2022, you're doing something seriously wrong. Like, only Real Madrid would do it just for the vanity of it, but they're not doing it to be serious. They're just doing it because it's Real Madrid. You know, if you're a normal club and apart from Real Madrid, like, you should not be buying players just based on a couple weeks tournament. That's a joke.
Amika, was there anything else, my brother?
Just I guess one more thing, just from you. I want to know, who do you want who do you want Liverpool to get? If you could have your way, what midfielders do you want Liverpool to get? Because I think we'll get 2. I don't think
in January or in the next 2 windows.
By the end of this next year's window, by the end, before the start.
By the end of next year window.
Before the start of, because I figure like you, we're gonna get someone in January. So maybe because we're gonna get 1 January and I think 1 in the summer, who hopefully is Jude. But tell me the 2 you want. If you could
2, yeah? 2.
Yeah.
You're giving me choice of 2.
Yeah, just 2. You get 2. I'm FSG. You only get 2, Grizz.
You got to think about that, man. Let me tell you my 2. Lorenzo Pellegrini and Wilfred Ndidi. Done. Go ahead, Grizz.
Get out of there, man. Get out of there, Ndidi. Get out of here.
Nah, man, he's all right.
So
even Pellegrini isn't that like you. I don't know if he's suit Liverpool.
No, he's doing these ones, man. He's doing these ones just to get the limelight. He wants everyone. Oh, Zuberi, hot take. Get out of here.
Nah, bro, I mean this, bro. I'm
No. You ain't doing that. I'm running up my show, and then last minute you're taking the limelight away by doing Ndidi and who? Pellegrini. Get out of here.
Not 2018, brother.
Put some respect on Pellegrini, my man.
What about Jude though? What about Jude? You're not gonna have him in your.
He doesn't do the obvious ones, man. He does these wild goose chases, man.
Grizz, keep thinking about what you're thinking about. Let me talk to Amika for a second. Think about your 2, Grizz, because it's hurting you, bro. With the Bellingham thing, that's how Liverpool fans get riled up, hurt, and then come for FSG blindly, bro. You can't get hung up on these things. If he comes, bro. You know, but. You asking what the person prefer, not what the club prefer, So my preference, bro, it's not Jude. I haven't seen enough of Jude. I don't watch him at Dortmund. I can't brag about him. I'm not saying he's not a quality player, but me personally, Zubiri, bro, yeah, I want some Pellegrini, bro. I'll take Ndidi. I think that'd be good for us. That's what Zubiri think. It's not a hot take. It's my opinion, Grizz.
100%.
What is your opinion now, Grizz?
100%.
What is your opinion, Grizz?
But there's opinions and there's wild opinions. That's a wild opinion.
Nah, man, that's tame. That's a tame opinion.
That's not no tame opinion. If I go to my Twitter and I got one brother that comes on my shows, and he was asked, listen to the context of Amika's question, and I'm going to change your mind before the show ends. Amika didn't ask your preference. He said, Amika asked, you can have the choice of 2 players. And you turned around. There was no wage restriction. There was no homegrown. There was no price, no contract. You fucking chose Ndidi and Pellegrini as your 2 wild card choices. Nah, man. No wonder you're off social media. You ain't allowed shit. You ain't allowed ever back on social media. Get off social media and stay off social media. My guy. But listen, two people that I'm gonna pick if I'm given the choice. Jude is 100% one.
Yeah.
100% one.
Yeah.
And the other one is so tight. The other one is so tight. It's so hard. Fuck, it's hard. There's three that I want.
Name them all and we'll choose.
I would do bad things for Casado.
Same. That he's on my list.
I would do bad things for Casado. I would do bad things for Yusuf Fofana.
Okay. I gotta look into
from Monaco.
Big baller.
Yeah. And the third one is people are gonna come for me because it goes back to the thing about what people want. And like Enzo Fernandez right now for Benfica is hot.
He's good, eh?
He's hot right now. But I'm gonna go Brexit. And I'm saying, Declan Rice for what we need. Bilal, I'm looking at my team.
What? We spoke about yesterday, and someone mentioned him as a Henderson. Even today, someone said the Henderson replacement on the right side.
No, I'm not even there. I'm not even there. Yeah, I'm saying it. I'm doing it.
I'll add one caveat because I get what you're saying with Declan, of course, if there's no restrictions, but I guess a bit of because if we're gonna put 100 to 125, let's say on Jude. Like realistically, let's say the board's gonna give us a.
So you're changing my okay.
There's no way we're gonna get both. It's just
Casado and Jude. There you go.
Yeah.
Casado and Jude. Casado is Genie reincarnated with a bit of extra pepper because he's only 21.
I like it.
I wonder if someone.
Casado is a.
Yeah, he's cold. Like
I wonder if there's a team that can get Tonali out of Milan. I wonder because he's I think he's a Milan fan. He's Italian. It's hard to.
That's you guys though. That's you, man. That's like
he's
your
so good.
Arsenal.
He's got a banger today as well.
I mean?
Like,
we ain't. Yeah. I hear that. That's you, Tillemans.
You guys listen.
You know what I mean?
No, ballers. That's what you mean. Not
Ndidi will be sick.
God forbid,
Ndidi
could not play for Arsenal. That guy can't even pass a ball, mate. He cannot play. It's the same thing. Rice is better than him. Even me, who's a Rice hater, bro. Like as people call me now, I'll take Rice.
Pellegrini is a baller. I hear you. I'm not denying Pellegrini.
You said wild takes earlier, man. You're gonna have to stand on that, Grizz.
Now, Ndidi is a wild take.
You didn't say that. You said all my takes was wild.
Okay, as a combination, they're wild. Yeah, as a combination, they're wild. Pellegrini and Ndidi, as a combination, they're wild. People in the chat, man, tell him about himself, man. I want to before we wrap
up.
Let
me give you a wild card. Why is no one feeding my guy Joe Linton, man, at Newcastle? Why is no one feeding him?
Who?
Joe Linton. Why is no one feeding this guy?
Ooh, unsung hero.
Bro, do you know he's a problem? Like, if you imagine you had a midfield of Sangare, Bellingham, and Joe Linton, who would want to play against those three in midfield? Be a joke. Three monsters in the middle. I just think about it sometimes. I need someone. I know he's at Newcastle already. I doubt he'll leave anytime soon because of the money they've got. Maybe they give him a new contract. But I watch him play. I'm just thinking, what kind of monster is loading up at Newcastle there? But yeah, it's a different, little wild one.
No, this is realistic. 2019, yeah, man. Ndidi's done a lot of mileage like Fabinho, man. Fabinho, see Ndidi. Ndidi, see Fabinho. That's all I'm telling you. He's done a lot of mileage for that Leicester team. Yeah. He's been worked.
Let me put a fence around that wild take. So when we were getting Fabinho, a lot of people in Spain were saying, that's a Real Madrid reject, B-Tech, Casemiro setting. And he came to Liverpool, and we're talking about top 5 in the world. So all I'm saying is a lot of people are saying Salah, B-Tech Messi, maybe even a C-Tech Messi. And we got him, and we're talking top 5 in the world. I'm not saying indeed it will be top 5 in the world, but something is there, was there, could be there. That's all I'm saying. I mean, in the moment, sure, I'll give you guys in the moment. I'm not seeing this moment. You know me, Grizz. I'm in another.
The only thing I would say is with like the guidelines that Amika gave us was choose.
You're saying I shouldn't be modest with the guidelines, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
that's not even modest. That's not even modest. That's below modest. Is that a bit below modest? Bro, come on, raise it. And Didi cannot be your option, bro.
Raise
But
the
listen, Mika, man, it was lovely chatting to you, man. Thank you very much for calling in, and thank you very much for being patient in the background, man. It was hella busy show today, but big up yourself.
for sure. God bless.
All right, take care, my friend. The last super chat of the night is from James. He says, many occasions when FSG get any stick, the following day news comes out that we're going to spend big, and then we don't. Confident we spend money in January? I'm near enough 99% sure we will bring in a midfielder.
If they don't, it would be like war in Liverpool. Like, you have to. Like, it's like beyond the point of having to buy a midfielder at this point. This is must.
Correct.
I think once Klopp came out and said what he said, whether it was political, whether it was some underlying agenda, and what he said what he said. Said we left it too late. Said, might have miscalculated.
Yep.
You can't
say that they worked out.
You can't say that in the summer and then not do something in January. So just that statement and what we've been doing in the past couple windows, I'm 100% sure we'll do something. Is it going to be the big thing? That I'm not sure on.
People, don't ever say we don't give you some mad content. Today has been fire. I'm not going to lie to you. If you haven't liked the stream, please like on your way out. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe if you haven't. Guys, I'm not even going to let you lot say anything more because I'm tired. Tomorrow is a big game. Me and Zuberi are going to be on alert. I'm going to the game, so wish me luck. I'm going to wear my war hat on. I ain't fucking about tomorrow. Tomorrow's serious. Bilal, I know you guys want us to smash them people for you, so I know you're a red tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. People, love, respect. We out of here. Take care. All right.